Online. Hello, hello, hello. Back with Tuck tonight. We're sort of picking up where we left off and doing the whole general open mic. And, well, I mean, there is a bunch of junk that just dropped today, and I'm probably going to be talking about it all weekend.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear because even the two bikers that came in, I was telling them about. They're like, "Oh, cool! I got to listen up to it." I almost went and offered them to be a live studio audience, but I just didn't want to deal with the hassle. But yeah, there's a lot of people interested in it, myself included. You were talking about some stuff. How far back does this go?
Okay, let me go back over here. Like, now, I'm still working on some of the notes for the UAP show because there is 100. Let's see, there's 164. Is it 164? Let me make sure I'm talking here. God, there's a ton. Okay, 162. Yeah, 162 newly launched documents. Well, some of them are new on the Department of War's special UFO site. Now, the alien site's not up yet for some reason. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, but it's kind of attached. But this is definitely interesting. This has this general things. Tonight, I'm going to try to play the Apollo 11, 1969 debrief with Buzz Aldrin, and the Apollo 12, where they were reporting flashing lights, and the Apollo 17, where they saw the bright particles. And then in 65, I'm going to play the Gemini 7, where they actually saw a bogey up there, apparently. Maybe we'll get into the Netherlands stuff. Like, this one goes back to 1948. And then there's this big file. It goes from 1947 to 1968. This is a massive FBI file that contains hundreds of pages of eyewitness testimonies and public reports from 1947 to 1968. Now, they're claiming that this thing was previously released. Maybe it was. Huh?
Is this Blue Book? Because I know everybody knows that the FBI was doing this.
No. Well, see, that's the thing. You know, this one right here is supposed to have fewer redactions. So, at the very least, if this thing already exists, and that means there's an earlier copy online, and we can kind of like compare it and see what they felt important to remove. That being said, we're
What about Roswell? Because you said 47.
Oh, it's in here. There's Roswell stuff in here. I don't know how far they get into it, but I mean, there's definitely. I mean, like I said, gotta dig through this. I'm trying to figure out some way, to get it all at one time. I can go to the website and I can download each one of them, but I was looking for like an archive or something, and there's still not a full archive up where I can just, pop and get it all.
Maybe that's on purpose.
Yeah, but when it's expected that the either Metabunk or DVIDS will have an archive up here in the next few hours or something. I mean, that's not going to be an issue. It's just that where there's so much, there were so many people on it today. The whole site was glitchy, so I got a few things and was able to look for other stuff. And there's videos up there too now. And some of these videos, excuse me, there's a video on there that shows this tail end of a vehicle, and it looks like a star or angel or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's what I would imagine the tail end of a rocket looking like. or a spaceship or something. But the government claims they have no idea what it is. Um, but there's definitely interesting stuff in here. Um, Stuff that would at least make you ponder. This is supposed to be the first drop. There's supposed to be many more drops to come if they keep their word. Um,
Well, just like Epstein.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I didn't expect us to get this. And while some of it's out there, and had been gotten from other sources and stuff like that. I mean, it's still kind of like. I mean,
think
I'm
the reason
amazed, but not amazed.
I
That
really think that the whole reason why they're doing this is because we already have the tech. We've already reverse engineered it, and in order to be able to introduce it, these files have to be released because people are going to start asking questions and being like, "Yeah, either you tell us the truth or we're burning down Washington."
I mean, e. I mean, I mean, I think we have the technology. I think we built it. I think we have reverse engineered it. I mean, I think fiber optics, come from Roswell, the Roswell alien crash. I think that night vision come from the Roswell stuff. I mean, I can go on and on about technologies that I believe were either ideas or technologies that were technically alien at some point, and we basically reverse engineered them.
Couldn't
Um,
that even happen with Velcro?
yeah, Velcro, another one. I mean, we was talking before. We had this sudden leap in technologies, and it was bizarre. Um, it's like everybody got smart real quick, and I think what happened was somebody within the government had you know taken bits and pieces and went to the biggest you know government contractors and said, "Here, make this," and that's what they did. You know,
Yeah, but you were saying something a few nights ago about but if they got the technology from alien technology from the government, like there'd be all kinds of lawsuits and stuff.
yeah, that would be if 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 it was found that these products and stuff come from the United States government, there would be all of these. Um, what was it called?
The fairness or competition or something like that.
Yeah, but there was something else. There was something that there was reasons they did it because I mean it would look very bad for the government to suddenly come up with all this technology. So I mean, you either would have the government introducing this technology into the populace, or two, I mean, that this technology was stuff the government wanted to see mass produced and used. These were individual like Velcro. Velcro they can use. You got to think of everything in a military sense. Velcro was used in military applications, uniforms, and things like that. So this was something they wanted mass produced. Now, night vision was something that had to be mass produced. So, they had to figure out they needed to instruct these companies like this is what we need. This is what they're using in the idea, and we need you to recreate it in the same way with transistors, in the same way with you know vice versa. I literally think that they handed this stuff off to IBM at Ma Bell. I mean, and this is where our computers are basically a concept of alien design.
You want to hear some story about IBM that comes from the Meyer community?
Sure.
Um,
I mean,
okay,
I
so when Billy Meyer, so when Lee and Brett Elders, which were two counter espionage specialists, they worked in the financial industry, to catch bank fraud and stuff. With Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Stevens, when they were doing their investigation, he provided five forms of evidence. He provided sound samples, pictures, metal samples, video, and contact notes. And so when the metal sample went to a scientist named Marcel Vogel, who got his first patent like when he was 12 years old, and he was supposed to have the rock for to do analysis, and it was only on loan, and he was supposed to give it back. But just as he was about to give it back, it just mysteriously comes up missing, and that is where at least within the Meyer community, they suspect that that's how he came up with quartz technology, was by taking that rock and using it for himself. Either that or the government did it itself.
I mean, anything that seems to have leaped ahead, I believe had come. I mean, I can almost believe it. I mean, you could almost sell it to me that suddenly, here. See if this. No, that's the transcript. That suddenly the technology emerged, and we have it, and I can't really explain how they got it. And yeah, I'm sorry, I had a comment from somebody else, but I got distracted. It pops up on one screen and another.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I gotta figure out
That's why
some.
I don't look at the screen.
I can't help it. I got like four of them in my face, and then my phone's down here, and I got there's a
Oh,
laptop over here, and yeah,
yeah.
it's getting worse in here. Because like as we're talking, I'm working and I'm doing other things, and sometimes I'm even writing. I mean, I don't know. Okay, let's see where are we at here. Um, but yeah,
I'm
okay,
wondering if
yeah, go ahead.
uh, I'm wondering if because the CIA supposedly, are there any CIA documents in here?
Yep.
The CIA supposedly was trying to infiltrate the Meyer group back in the 70s. I'm wondering if what kind of information they have on it and if any of that's been released.
What? Okay, what are the names of the Meyer group? Like, is it called the Meyer group?
Okay, so he has the Figu Center, and it's you got to go read the plaque. I can't remember what Figu stands for, but he lives in Switzerland, and he speaks old German, Swiss German. And anyways, so he has it was just it's him, and then he's had people that come around him. Um, he's had several people that have kind of like become part of his inner group. Some of them have actually got to experience a lot of the stuff that he's talked about. Like there's one guy, oh, I can't remember his name. He talks about time travel and how he has a peach from a tree that was removed, and like he had a laser weapon and stuff like that. And this group got to see some of this, and they were sworn to secrecy, but as they've died, Meyer has kind of come out and talked more about what went on with them, as a sign of gratitude for them keeping their silence all these years. So he's even Wendell Stevens, when he passed away, he talked about how he was grateful that Wendell Stevens, because they trumped up a charge that he was a pedo and stuck him in federal prison because he wouldn't inform on the Meyer camp. So and then the thing is he actually has contributing members and stuff like that. You not only pay like so much money a year, like $200, but
How
then you
how is
also got to
how is
go
he
over there and
how is he connected to DB Cooper,
who's DB Cooper?
the guy that supposedly hijacked the plane in Seattle? We talked about him before. Stole the money and jumped out.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, DB Cooper. How is
I, I'm
where
I'm,
did
fi-
Meyer
I'm
get
finding I'm finding
connected to
two
him?
hits. I'm finding two hits on his name in the FBI archive. I'm
On
finding
Meyer or DB Cooper?
well in the DB Cooper file from Meyer. I mean, I got
Oh, really?
here's what I got. Here's what I got so far. I mean, it take me a while to look up the stuff, but and verify it. But what I think I have is there is a hit with his name for Hubert Humphrey, the U.S. politician from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, the one that was from alive from 1911 to 1978. Um, there was another one called Klaus Fuchs. He was a German-born atomic scientist from 1911 to 1988.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a hit from Meyer in there. There's a hit from Meyer when in the
Is this the
Vietnam.
proper spelling of Meyer? Because there's like three different spellings. It's Meyer.
Millymeier.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Okay. There's Freedom of Information logs from 1980 to 1999 where stuff's been requested on them. The Bremen kidnapping, the John Dillander gang, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. The Unified Church.
Yeah, he kind of has his own battles with Christianity. Um, yeah, there you got to read his contact notes to kind of catch up on that. But I will tell you that, and I sent this to you as part of that, also with the from the stars to Mars in
Mm-hmm.
1956, I think he wrote a letter to no, maybe it was in the 40s or 50s. He wrote a letter to all the heads of state of like 46 countries, and basically telling them what would happen over the next couple hundred years if they didn't change their ways. And everything from the assassination to Kennedy to the moon landing to everything that's going on. And he put it out, and the U.S. government actually wanted to meet, but they refused to talk to Meyer. They wanted to talk to the aliens themselves. And Meyer says, no, they want me to be their emissary, and they will not talk to you directly. They will talk to you through me. And I mean, rightfully so. You can't trust the U.S. government. They're probably trying to avoid an ambush at that point in time. I know I would. And so, like, that's kind of how it gets intertwined with Meyer and the U.S. government. As not only that, in the 70s, there was a lot of famous people like Joan Rivers, I think, went there, and she even wrote a book in the 70s. He had a picture book with some of the most clearest UFO pictures. My dad even remembers that book. It was a big craze here in the United States. So like Meyer has his tentacles in, but he was, because he wouldn't allow, or the investigators, Lee and Brett Elders, wouldn't allow UFO sympathizing scientists to examine the evidence so they could sit there and go, yes, it's alien. They wanted impartial people who were more reluctant to say things that were alien so that they could actually get an authentic take on it, which is why like people like Marcel Vogel, the Naval Sound Lab, Lawrence Livermore Laboratories, all of those organizations were able to vet all of this information, everything from the pictures to the metal samples to the sound samples to the videos and all of that stuff. So because of that, the UFO community suppressed the Meyer case, and for the longest time until Michael Horn came along and really, because he's a little belligerent in the sense that he's very pushy, and so he basically kicked down the door, and they started doing UFO conferences, and that's where he ends up meeting Professor James Deardorff, who tried to take the Talmud Manuel and prove it as another Bible hoax. And in his last days, he was going around and saying it was the Q book for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
I mean, that was. I got to do a little more research on the matter. I mean, there.
You start with the documentary with Liam
trying.
Elders.
I'm reading like there's not a big wiki on them, but there's.
Future of Mankind is his wiki. It's his personal wiki.
Yeah, but this. Yeah, I don't want to go to someone's. See, that's the thing. I don't like going to someone's wiki that they've created themselves. They're that would be like me sending somebody to I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't have well, actually, never mind. But I mean, I wouldn't direct people to like my pen names and things like that, and like I don't put my name associated with my pen names. I never would. I don't want people to put what they find there on something else, or I don't want it to bluff up to whatever it is I'm doing here from there. I don't know. I just got a weird view of looking at
I
that.
see. I see your logic, but the reason why is because Billy Meyer is so meticulous on the accuracy of his writing
I know,
that he
but I know, but the best
it has
the best journalist or the best viewer is one that is not yourself. I mean, you cannot logically. All right, I can sit here and talk. He can sit there and talk about everything and anything and whatever else. But how other people comprehend him and how other people see him, that is how I'm going to see him, and that is how other people are going to see him. Now he's got his followers that will follow along, and they hook into everything he says, or they go along with it. Those are not the kind of people you need. Those are great for people who are helping you, but you need, if you're trying to amplify your voice, you need other people that are outside that see what you're doing, and can openly talk about that with not feeling like, okay, well, this guy's just part of the Meyer cult, or this guy's just part of this cult or that cult. I mean, that's the thing, is you have to, you can't. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm not really part of like certain groups and things like that, because I mean, I can't logically lock myself into like one belief or one belief system.
Can I had an opposite experience. So Glenn Beck starts talking about this writing. It's by a guy by the name of Lee Brobst. It's called USA, a Republic, the house that no one lives in. You should go read it. Well, I went and I read it. To me, it was like, it was absolute gibberish. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go sample some of this other writing so I can get an idea of what this guy was actually coming from, because I might be missing something or whatever. And so I went through and I actually found his Eye of the Eagle publication circa 89 to 90. And that turned out to be his final article. And his last like 4 or 5 articles, he was just getting pissed off at the incompetency of the letters that he was getting, because he's like, you're not paying attention, you're not reading it, because it's like you got one sentence plus like 3 sentences of case law, and so you're expected to go out and read all the case summaries and stuff like that. This was back when people actually did read, in the late 80s, early 90s. And so now I have a deeper understanding, and by having that deeper understanding, and I went and I applied it, I was like, oh, okay. And that was how I was able to have success within the Freeman community, is because I had that as my Rosetta Stone.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just, I know a lot of people, or a lot of people at least seem to follow along with it, but I just
be skeptical.
I mean, it's more than skeptical. It's I mean, I know you believe in them. I know you like them, and everything like that. But I mean, like, but there's a lot about Meyer and I'm not talking about.
I'm uneasy.
No, not necessarily uneasy. It's just a lot of stuff I don't believe. I mean, I'm one to say that. I mean, I believe a lot of stuff, or at least I think a lot of stuff. But you have to. I have to get there logically, and when just for an example, when Meyer says he has a spaceship and traveled with all these other, everything else, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the spaceship here. I mean, I just don't have it. It's just not there.
But the spaceship is the red herring. That is for all for the tools, in my opinion. Okay.
I mean, that's
There's a
like
big difference. I've been
that's like the other guy saying that, you know, everything was going to start or break down in Easter. What was his name? Oh, fuck. The guy from North Carolina. I talked about him the other
oh
day. He's the one that claimed the red star. We were talking about what Meyer was talking about, the red
Apophis.
Apophis, and the
Yeah.
and this guy was talking about. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, no.
he's the one that had that spear video.
Let me give you my. I've been studying Meyer for God, fucking 15 years or so, since about 2009 when my son was born. So however long that's been. So it took me a long time. I started where you were, and the sense was I was skeptical. I didn't fucking care about UFOs. See, and that was actually the smartest thing for me, is because so many people get distracted by the UFOs that they forget that the UFOs are a distraction for people that 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 uh, that really aren't that curious. Because if you go read what he actually writes, and these are his thoughts. This is his
But
thoughts. His conversations. They're on paper.
if you say you have if you say you have a spaceship and you traveled with it and you had these aliens and everything else, and we go back and you have, okay, the United States government's supposed to have spacecrafts, and they're supposed to have spacecraft that they reverse engineered and they built and they done all this other stuff, and even Reagan said we had one that he walked into that was the size of 4 football fields. I mean,
Okay.
if
Let
that
me
is
let me
possible, I'm just
let me
saying.
approach it. Let me approach it differently then. Okay, the UFOs. I don't give a shit. Oh yeah, he's traveling. I don't. But like all that. I watched the documentary, and the documentary was enough to be able to go. Okay, I'll at least give this guy the benefit of the doubt because of the conclusion of the documentary and the background of the people doing the documentary. That's why I talk about them being counter espionage specialists. These people, their whole job is to root out fraud, and they were there to root out fraud, and they couldn't find any.
Well,
So that was a big enough deal. But the thing is
I don't
when I
trust the
read,
people.
so you start reading his predictions. Okay, when does his predictions come true? Oh fuck, that one came true. That one came true. When did he write
No,
it?
no, no. Wait a
Oh, he
minute.
wrote
No,
it
wait a
there. He
minute.
wrote it
No, wait a
there.
minute. Now you're not this. That ain't the same thing. That's not the same thing in this world. When you talk about predictions, people can predict things. People have the ability to predict things. People who are just normal people that wake up one morning, you know, they might have a dream and have lottery numbers in their head, or they might see parts of the future, or they might be inspired and know things. There's nothing
Okay.
wrong with that. And I mean,
No, no, no.
that is actually one of the things that, just for example, we need to bring up because uh,
Oh, oh,
you know, we was talking about the. Well, we'll get there. You know, we was talking about the Cole Allen business with the Twitter. You know, where there was the
yeah,
prediction. Okay, now here just a few days ago, somebody went on and they found another Twitter account from a man called, or from a person called Soothsayer, and in the bottom of it
yeah. I
is
saw that one.
yeah, it says he's an astrologist, or she's an astrologist, reads the future. She has 4 tweets on her account. This was verified by Yahoo. This was verified by Google, and it was verified by X. That this was not messed with, not tampered with, never logged back in. And it says on there that 2023 coronavirus ended, 2026 hantavirus.
Haunter. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know. I've seen that one. But here's the thing. My great uncle was in the remote viewing project, and he was the one that taught me how to like root out a real psychic and stuff like that. And he says, one of the first indicators is ask them what their accuracy rate. You're not psychic unless you are 80% or above. His percentage was 85%. The funny thing about Myers, all of his predictions have come true. After a while, you just start going, you know what? So many of them have come true over time that you just start going, okay, I just take it as fact now because he hasn't been wrong yet. And once he's wrong, then that just basically shatters his whole reality. That is the one thing that if you follow Meyer, it's like the moment you find just the slightest chink in him not being, being dishonest or making a mistake, like in the sense where he gets a prediction wrong, that completely shatters him. And that's what I've been waiting for 15 fucking years. I can't find it. And I've fucking read every single thing. I've from the naysayers to the the as you call them, the Billy Meyer cult, and I've got to talk to some of them too.
Well,
And
I mean,
my personal belief,
I'm like I said, I'm not knocking his predictions. I'm just knocking or I'm having a problem. Not really knocking that. I'm just having a problem with some of the supportive
well, if
conversations.
he says that this is where he's getting them, if they're the ones that are telling him this,
Well, if he's getting them from there, then I might have an issue about it. I mean, see, that's the other thing. Okay, if because one of my core beliefs is that there has been something out there misleading humans since we have been on Earth, and if something is giving him predictions and feeding his mind full of stuff so he can filter his stuff out to people just like everybody else, just like Nostradamus, just like all these other people,
mm-hmm.
then maybe we should be very cautious about what we listen to and understand and believe.
If I'm telling you that there's if I'm telling you that there's a storm coming, but because I'm purple and I don't look like you, and you are you still gonna disbelieve me, or are you gonna take the fact that I just told you the storm's coming and just take it for okay? I need to prepare for a storm.
Well, I mean, no, that's not the thing. I'm saying is that I mean, your core, like I said, my core belief is I believe that there are things that are misleading people, and if they're giving and if he has a prediction accuracy of almost 100%, then something is
Almost.
feeding. I mean, if he has a prediction percent of 100%, I'm gonna say 100%. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I can't say that 100% until I go and back and look, and I'm going to. But I mean, and one of the reasons why he is a topic of this conversation is because we're still talking about this friggin' tablet, and it has to do with the, you know,
The Watchers.
yeah, the Watchers and the planets where his was it is it his people or is it his how is that? I mean, if it's his spaceship, okay, wait a minute. If it's his spaceship, is it? Did they give it
His
to
spaceship.
him, or did he go there?
No,
But
they come pick him up. They're chauffeuring him around.
yeah, but I thought he went. I thought he was like part there something.
No, no. They come pick him up, and they take him. They've taken him to see the solar system, and there's fucking one of the satellites or something like that. There's actually because I heard you talk about the other day. I can't remember what one of the satellites we set way deep space.
Are you talking about
Um,
Voyager?
yeah, he got to see in Voyager, and there was something like some glitch that ended up happening that you were talking about. I was like, yeah, that's probably about the time because they sat there and they observed it and then just moved off. He was the one that talked about how Venus or Saturn, like its rings were gaseous, and then like 20 years later, then we find out that the rings are gaseous or whatever, and it completely throws science upside down for a couple of days. Things like that. They've taken him to see other planets that have dinosaurs on it. They have
All
taken
right,
him
all right.
to other things and
I've
stuff like
made it. I
that.
made a decision. I have made a decision.
Uh,
If when they offer when Elon Musk offers the brain chip to people, I'm going to go get it. That way I can download all this information from everywhere and everything, so I can kind of physically plot this stuff out and try to get a better understanding of some of these things. Because I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's incorrect about those things. I'm not. I mean, and like I said, I believe, a lot of people thought like Nostradamus saw predictions or parts of the future. He didn't really understand how or whatever. And the human mind is like that. And I believe he might actually be seeing stuff. You know, I believe it is possible. I mean, here's the other issue with Meyer. There has been other people in history that has tried to do similar things as him. Some of them were really good at it. But maybe we should do a Meyer episode. What?
You know,
getting out of the chair.
Hold on a minute. I gotta go check on something.
all right, I'm gonna take over the mic for a
Go
minute.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so for those people who wonder who the other voice who Tuck is, I have a channel here on YouTube as well. It's called the Epoch of Friar Tuck. So if you just search Friar Tuck, you can find me. I'm a nomad, so I travel all over the country. I'm in Maryland right now, but I travel everywhere. I cover like homeless education, survival, policy. I show you that what you're told homelessness is not the truth. I share with you guys I share the what it's really like, and the fact that not everybody's a drug addict. So,
All right, I'm back.
or a mental basket case either. But if you guys want to come check me out, come check me out. If you like it, subscribe. I do a live. I do them randomly, and I do them from trail as much as possible, so that you can come in, you can watch, and it's pretty much open mic. Whatever you guys want to chit chat about, I'm pretty interactive with my audience.
Hey,
So
they want to know what your YouTube is again.
the Epoch of Friar Tuck. Just type here. Let me go into chat, and I'll just say hi. Hold on. I can
Post your link thing there.
Well, yeah. Well, once I say hi, they'll be able to click on my avatar. So
Sometimes, well, I mean, if you have a script, you can like post your share in there.
there you go. So yeah, all somebody has to do is just click on my avatar. Yeah. So
Oh
here.
shit. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So there. How many people we got in here tonight? We got 5.
7. And yeah, 7. A few on Facebook and a few over on what's the other one I share to? Twitch. Yeah, Twitch.
Rumble.
Yeah. Well, no, Rumble. I'm doing like uploads the day after because there's like some kind of glitch in their system again. I don't know.
They don't want to get along with YouTube. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. Because a couple of years ago, they stopped uploading. They still send me emails telling me we would like you to come. I said, no, you guys, no. Nobody's. Yeah, no.
Well,
And
there's a good deal of foot traffic over there though.
I don't. It's more about the platform and how their For You page works and how they serve stuff up. Unless you have like 20,000 subscribers and like a lot of views and stuff like that right off the bat from your current base, you ain't even getting. Nobody even knows you exist. So if you try and start one from scratch, unless you're like some big name, you don't get known. That's the problem with it. I tried it for a while, and I'm telling you, I got maybe 20 subscribers over there versus like getting my 1,000 over on YouTube.
I mean, YouTube's a different animal. I mean, You just gotta.
Well, it's just it's more about how they serve up videos. And a lot of people complain about the algorithm, but the algorithm could be your friend if you understand it. Just like the rules of the universe. Once you understand them, then they become your friend instead of your enemy. And you just learn to play the game, but and play it within your own code of ethics. And see, that's my big problem. My ethics are sometimes are a big hang up for me.
Mm. Oh.
Well,
Oh, okay. Well, oh yeah. Talking about brain interfaces, I did that for a reason. Actually, I meant to. Um, you ever heard about a place called Merge Labs?
no.
MERGELABS. I didn't until today. Merge Labs is another company that was founded by Sam Altman. You know who he is.
Yeah, he also did WorldCoin,
Yep. Well,
which is biometrics.
they have. I mean, a who's who list of AI and science minds and biotechnology, hardware, neuroscience. That is all part of this new company, and they have figured out a way to do something that we were talking about. No, no, the UFO file discussion is not fully there yet, so I haven't got to it. I just kind of like bopped around a little bit. We're still got ways to go. Um, this is probably going to be like a 3 hour podcast tonight, and then I'm going to do 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours that night, and 3 hours the next day, and 3 hours that night. Um, I don't know. Like I said, there's just so much I got to run through and try to get to it. But I'm going to try to get to the Apollo and the Atlas stuff tonight. But yeah, this is the they have figured out a way to use ultrasound and high frequency sound to interface technology with the brain.
Oh yeah, this is with the what is the new iPhone that's coming out?
I mean, I don't know, but they said that their whole thing is to incorporate AI into the brain.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so are you aware of how they're changing writing and language in schools?
I am actually. I know
So
that.
we're
I know
going
that. I
back
know
to
they've.
hieroglyphics.
I don't know about that now. I mean, I know. I
Okay.
know. I know we're. I know they're like getting rid of like um cursive and stuff.
Well, no, it's changed even more. So what they're doing now is they're teaching kids to write in symbols and stuff like that. They're going back to hieroglyphics because the thing is the human mind doesn't see words; it sees symbols, and those symbols have meaning, just the same way as the death to man symbol that we like to call the peace symbol, or the tree of life. There are certain symbols that like our brain once we go back to basically the original conscious language that we'll be able to speak in, and so we'll no longer be using words, we'll be using symbols, so therefore you don't have to worry about language differences.
I actually kind of disagree. I mean, and I mean there might be a subset of people who respond to symbols and things like that, and of course that you know that being one of the things that people saw in the begin with, like Sanskrit and things like that. One of the things that I actually majored in was languages, old languages, and things like that. The you know While they might, I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I'm absolutely sure they might be doing this in school. Okay, I can agree with you. I can see them doing that, and I can see why they would be doing that, and I can see why they think they would need to do that because the younger generations are being exposed more and more to technology, and technology is becoming more and more compressed, and you
But
you start you start taking words
yeah,
into
but
symbols and stuff. However, the human mind adapts to what it sees. I mean,
Oh,
I mean, my son knew how to read at age 3. And if you properly show a child how to do that, they will know and sit there and read like it's like they're on the 12th grade level, and start to learn and comprehend and understand. It's just the way you give it to them.
but you also got to realize, just like subliminal messaging, if you also get those symbols in, and it becomes a lot easier to control the masses.
No, Chad, I'm not talking about the EKG helmet brain detects. We were actually talking about that a couple, 3, 4 days ago. But this is new. This is today. This is the Merge Labs thing is on their page. It says we are pursuing this goal by developing fundamentally new approaches to brain computers interfaces to interact with brain at high bandwidth, integrating with advanced AI that is safe. They don't want you to. They're trying to go beyond the point of having to put a chip in your head, or so they say. I mean, this would be something more like, you have some reactive stuff in your bloodstream that you don't know about, and you put your phone up to your head, and
Did you ever watch Stargate SG-1?
Yeah, I have.
Do you remember when they got to the ancient technology?
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is if you had a specific DNA, you could activate it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I think they were. Yeah, they were doing that in Stargate Atlantis. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what led to Stargate Atlantis. That was what caused the spinoff for that. But yeah, the Colonel, he ends up having the DNA, and that allows him to control some of this ancient technology.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's. Oh yeah. I mean that goes. Like you could throw that in there with this whole thing about this friggin' tablet about the people who are marked,
Yeah.
who have the bloodline from from the Anunnaki.
But marked what? Marked mean marked how?
They have
And
they all right. There's 2 races of humans. There's the humans that evolved here. Okay,
oh, okay.
and then there are the ones that were rebred
Transplant.
genetically by the Anunnaki with Anunnaki blood. They mated with the Anunnaki, or however it is you want to say it. I mean that you kind of going in there where you
It
start.
goes with the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, yeah. So they're saying. I mean, this would be saying that the Book of Enoch is kind of right, and it was just another viewpoint of what was going on at the time. But those people, the giants and everything else, and descendants of them, and descendants of God, and so forth like that, were the chosen. And basically, when it's all boils down to it, about half of the planet carries this gene. The same way with Cain and Abel.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if you're marked with Cain, you're not you're like one of like I mean like there's certain marks there that and they were very adamant to try to point these out in the Bible and these other books and texts and things like that if your generation has these marks, you will be affected. And I mean, these marks started like back in the time of Samaria. Pre Bible.
I'm not following this, but okay. I'll okay.
Well, I mean, like what they mean by marks is your blood, your descendant, your
is that written in the text? And was the text written for a period in time, or was it written for their specific period where they're talking? Because as civilizations grow and fall apart, we start recounting time in a different way.
No, this was this. Now, if we're talking about the tablet, the tablet was written as um, the alignment that happens every 3,100 years, and the next one occurs in 2029. I mean, they were very specific about it. I mean, they literally put it out so you could calculate it and
Okay, so
show it.
what is this alignment supposed to do?
The alignment is what shows the path for them to come back. What it is how they would have saw it back then. There's a path of stars that line up. The planets line up, and from that point is where you will see the hidden planet where they live, and then they will that those whatever you want to call them will descend down on Earth and make judgment or whatever it is they decide to do to us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that they were very specific about this time. That's why I even you know entertained the idea. When they were right about the time that they were when we put see the thing is after they pulled the data from the tablet. The researchers fed this data into the same software NASA uses to calculate historical star positions. They ran this alignment backward and forward through time over and over and over and over again. They were looking for the same exact configuration that occurred. I mean, you can go to this software and you can put it in. I mean, you can see what the stars looked like when you were born. You can go back 1,000 years and see what the stars looked like when you were born, and I mean, there's a lot of religious people who did it to supposedly go back and see when Jesus was born and how the stars looked and all that stuff. Um, but anyway, they went back and the moment when the Sumerian civilization exploded into existence, and this thing predicts the next time this will occur is in 2029, according to NASA. Yep, Planet 9, you got it.
Mm.
But and the reason I'm talking about Planet 9 is because they found a tablet that confirms this damn thing. They found the tablet that confirms Planet 9, the Anunnaki, and the time it's supposed to happen. They have the data now.
Okay.
I was answering somebody in chat. I think they missed last stream when I was ranting on about it. But anyway,
What was the date?
huh?
The date is 2029.
2029. That's supposed to be the next great apocalypse, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I just, the things that will lead up to it. If maybe we've already made a deal with them, and we've got stuff figured out and fixed, but. I don't know. There's something. I still say there's some shit going on that we don't understand and we don't see.
2027 from what I read, maybe it is 2029 is when we're supposed to be fully in the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
2029.
Fully in the age of
We're in Aquarius.
And so, do you understand what a Pisces is? Because I'm a Pisces. Do you
I'm
know
a
the
Pisces
difference between
too.
a Pisces and Aquarius?
I'm a Pisces too.
Okay. Okay. What? Just are you closer to Aquarius or the other direction?
Well, I mean, on which calculation? The old one or the new one?
The February 19th to I think what is it, March 19th or whatever.
Well, I would be toward the latter end.
Oh, okay. I'm actually right on the cusp. Um, So like, and my dad's an Aquarius, and and so like I kind of, and I've spent a lot of time trying to figure this out because I read my star charts, and my dad's second wife was she was an astrology, she, that was one of the classes she took. So I started like really looking into this, but the thing about Pisces is that it is fantasy. Okay, that's why if you look in the Bible, when they have the golden calf, that is because they're in the age of Taurus. Now that Christianity has the two fish, that's because we're in the age of Pisces, because Pisces is about fantasy. That's why you see purple, and that's why that's a royal color, because purple is fantasy. Now Aquarius is based upon logic and reason, and when you have logic and reason and you're not living in fantasy, this is why we're going to have such a golden age, because we will naturally choose we'll naturally choose to be the smart kid instead of being the tough kid. And as this whole change is because, I mean, look at how we've gone from, like, we actually had some decent intelligence about us to now we're just kind of like a bunch of like Lord of the Flies.
I don't want to say we're Lord of the Flies. We're more like what
Mm.
we were. I think we were designed to be.
I know, I think that this world is Lord of the Flies from my point of view. I mean, if you see that, like, there's no real, there's a pretending that there's a law, but there's no law. And as long as you can go up there and you can get a group of people to come together, mob rules every time.
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on the other mob, I guess you would say. Um, maybe you think of this. No, I'm not thinking of Apophis. Oh, wait, well, I already talked about Apophis. Um, this is a whole different thing. This is supposed to, according to the stuff from NASA and the new data that was on this tablet. The tablet's called If for anybody that wants to go look it up, the tablet is called MS3848. This is a tablet that was found in the British Museum. That it was scanned with the stuff they use in NASA. It was packed in resin. They translated it, and one of the things we should go over. I'm echoing like crazy. One of the things we should go over is what the lead scientist that was on here. What he said ended his career. Um, this is a Dr. Michael Westerman. His team published the findings in the Journal of Cuneiform Studies in 2020. The paper was titled Astronomical Precision in Late Sumerian Pronextic Text. On page 14, buried in a footnote, he wrote something that does not belong in a peer-reviewed paper, something that academics only write when they cannot write it, when the data leaves them no choice. And it said, the precision of the astronomical calculations of MS3848 exceed the known capabilities of Sumerian observation astronomy by several orders of magnitude. No explanation consists with current historical model accounts for this discrepancy. Translation: They should not have been able to calculate this, but they did, and we cannot explain how. 6 months after this publication, he was forced to retire. There was no follow-up paper, no media appearances, and when he was contacted by email, he responded with 4 words. Can you guess what they were?
I cannot talk.
No?
No comments.
He said only 4 words. This is the last 4 words he said. He said, "We translated it correctly." And then nothing more. He staked his career on this tablet what they found, what they said in 2029.
Well, uh, I think that we won't know what it means until after the fact.
This might help you answer. This might answer or help answer the questions you had about the marked or the bloodlines.
Okay.
Now, this is what the tablet says about the bloodlines. Like I said, the tablet just doesn't describe astronomical events. It describes who the events matter to. Like me and you and other people.
Mhm.
Among is the most unsettling passage describing the beings who arrive before the main alignment. Now, these are the beings who align before 2029.
That would let's just hypothetically say that is the Meyer the whole Meyer stuff, the beings that arrived beforehand, because even my Hindu friend, when I mentioned Meyer and the Pleiadians, the first thing he says, never trust the Pleiadians, because apparently in their lore the Pleiadians are not to be trusted.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that a bit. I'm not arguing with what he said about people coming before and other things like that. I'm not arguing about that. I mean that is something. I mean, this supports that somehow. Some weird twisted way this supports that. And I mean, there's no way he could have known this. By the way, anyway, now that I think about it, but anyway, the first who return are the watchers. They arrive before the alignment, complete to prepare the way. They move among men unseen, taking measure of what has been built, what has been forgotten. They mark those who carry the old blood, the line unbroken since the time of mixing. You get all that?
I could with what I know about the Meyer material, that makes some of his stuff make more sense.
Okay. Old blood, the time of mixing. These aren't vague spiritual metaphors in context of Sumerian text.
Go through that again and stop with each one, and I'll kind of give my thoughts on it if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. The first who return are the watchers.
Okay, so that's the Pleiadians. Keep going.
They arrive before the alignment completes to prepare the way.
Yes, in 1976, Meyer, I think it's either 76 or 78, he puts out an edict that in 800 years, the people of Earth will meet the Pleiadians, and the people of Earth will join or begin joining the Galactic Federation.
I don't know about that. All I know
No, it's
is
just it's out there. He wrote
okay,
it.
okay. I mean that's I mean in maybe it was going on since let's say since Roswell.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
just let,
yeah okay.
I'm just giving my, like I said,
I know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure this one out myself.
but keep going.
They move among men unseen, taking measure of what has been built, what has been
And what
forgotten.
has been forgotten.
Yeah.
Yes, they're looking at what we've done, such as we've harnessed the base element of the universe, the nuclear bomb. What we've forgotten is the old ways, the stuff of our ancestors. We've gotten detached from the land. What it's probably not talking about is the fact that being able to manage our population and keep it at a reasonable level to be able to be balanced with nature, and the fact that we've gotten out of control. So keep going.
They mark those who carry the old blood.
The old blood. So there are stranded ones that are here that have been here for a while. It also might mean so he talks about the Giza intelligence. That might also be it, because they were the last of their kind and they were fucking with civilization because they had a weapon that could like send holographic
Well,
things.
no,
Like
they're not.
a lot of the religious stuff.
They're not talking about. They're
I'm
not.
just giving you possibilities.
Well, I know, but I mean, here they're definitely not talking about that. They're talking about the king generation, the blood. They're talking about
Okay.
what they were referring to. They were very specific about who they were talking about when it comes to
Yeah,
all
those who
blood.
were stranded here.
No, they weren't stranded here. They were made here.
Okay.
You're not. If you're made here, you may have their genetic part of their genetic makeup. You're still from here. You're what's the best word for it? You're like, you might have some of their blood and you might be part of them, but you don't belong with them.
Okay. Well, the white race is tied to the Pleiadians.
Yeah.
That's who Hitler was talking about as the Aryans.
But anyway, then it says the line unbroken since the time of mixing. And the time of mixing is when they bred.
Okay. But the line unbroken, this sounds like something from that you would want to interpret like you're doing National Treasure or something.
I mean, the line unbroken since the time of mixing.
Yeah. What this is a riddle.
Yeah, but those two are together in context. They mark those who
Yes.
carry the old blood, the line unbroken since the time of mixing, and I mean they're referring to, I mean, based on the other Sumerian text and how they look at when they talk about blood, they refer to kingship,
Okay.
like the king, that there's one Sumerian thing that's it was like one of the first things to be translated, and it lists all the kings. I spoke about that, like, well, the day before yesterday, so one of the two, and
If you notice, all the great prophets came from the same bloodline.
well, I mean that's what I was getting into. Yeah, well, I don't know if I was getting into it now, but later on,
Myers
I mean the
supposedly
kings. If you there's a girl when Obama was in office. There was this girl that did this high school genealogy experiment. She went way back, and she was able to show that all the presidents were related, and it going back to some specific king somehow, which means they all had part of that bloodline. And that's what I was saying about presidency and stuff like that. I don't think you can become president. A person can become president unless you have that bloodline.
Well, hold on a second. Are you familiar how divine right became divine right?
I mean, I'm not sure we're. Go ahead. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing.
Okay, so at this time, the Catholic Church was still trying to regain its Western Roman Empire through the Church, and I think it
Yeah,
was
but
Charlemagne. He ends up going with the Pope and becoming best friends, and this is how divine right. So the kings, the kings of Europe were all guaranteed or were all instituted by the Pope, and to think that the Americas are exempt from it, because if you go look at some of the, we're under treaties that go all the way back to 450 BC and beyond,
yeah,
because of
but
being
see,
in the international world.
but
So to
in
think
in
that we're
this
not bound
context,
by the Catholic
but in
bloodline.
this contact in this context, those bloodlines were the bloodlines that were supposed to be there. They were put in order. They were put in place. The reasons to do that, to make that happen. That's what I'm saying is these old bloodlines, the ones that are supposed to work through, that come from these original kings. These are the ones that people that wanted to control the world. So you would have to do modifications and stuff to ensure that those bloodlines stay in power. So you would do these things like Charlemagne did and everything else. I mean, that those would be laws that you would pass. These would be things that you would enforce. you got to go beyond that. I mean, we're talking like predestined, they're in groups and individuals and secret societies that made this stuff happen, that talk about this stuff on the back end, to make these things, these different groups like Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, Freemasons and stuff that, say, okay, look, these are the people who need to be empowered because these are the ones who have divine right. Or they think they do.
Well, yeah, they think they do, but there's something within the Meyer contact notes that I've skimmed over. Um, Essentially, over time, they try to sit back and pass information along. So, such as like when Abraham gets to sit down with God, they sat down with the wise men to share with them, parts of the teachings of the universe as a hope to, be able to spread their teachings, and instead, religions formed around them, and the men that got that knowledge took it, used it for themselves to wield power and greed. We started the causation chain that we're on right now for the overall conclusion is that, you have these people that were able to get knowledge, and instead of using it to better their people, they used it to ensure their own legacy for, millennia to come. So you keep saying that there's something that's out there that keeps messing with humanity. It's not that they're doing it in a malicious way. It's that, unintended consequences, not fully understanding the ramifications of what they're doing. Because sometimes you can, especially if you've eradicated things out of your society, sometimes coming into a more barbaric society, you forget shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not saying they're. No, I'm pretty sure they're messing with things. I'm pretty sure they're doing stuff intentionally, and
Some things,
you know,
yes.
they are selectively reducing the population. They are. Um,
No, we do that ourselves. That's what do they call? There's some fucking. I forget who keeps talking. It's the what if alt history. You were saying that you listened to him too. He talks about the mice. The mice utopia.
yeah, yeah. But I mean
So we're doing this to ourselves.
But I mean now you're talking about basic human psychology. I mean I mean that's not, a lot of people have a hard time when it comes to thinking there's something above them that is actually doing things. I mean, you have
What are you
to,
talking about? Christians do all day long.
huh?
Christians believe that.
Not
They
really.
they
No, not
if
really.
something good comes, it came from God. If something bad came, it came from the devil.
I mean, maybe back in the day, but not anymore. You have people who go to church to show face or because they have to. I mean, I know Christians that do all kinds of dirty stuff during the week, but on Sundays are saints. I mean, and that's been the case for a very long time. I can go anywhere in this country and find that. I guarantee it. I mean,
Yeah, but you'll also find those that embody their religion too.
I tell you what, I've looked. I've been hard pressed to find a saint.
I've found some people that really embodied their religion. Um, One of my first landlords was like that. Like she was fucking batshit crazy Christian as far as I was concerned. Like she was a little extreme for me, but she lived it to the letter as best as she could. I mean, she was, yeah. It, yeah, she wasn't necessarily a saint, but she definitely embodied her religion. I also met a preacher when I was on the Florida Trail. Like he embodied his religion because he understood that you're supposed to take in the poor and all that other stuff. So when he opened his doors to anybody who's willing to come, and if you need a place to sleep, you can sleep on the church property a night or two, and he didn't care. And he'd welcome you in and treat you like you were one of the family. Like that's embodying the religion because Jesus taught the law of love.
Oh, okay. On that, I'm gonna go have a cigarette. But when I get back, this is our 5 minute. This is our 5 minute break. We're gonna talk about the me. It's also pronounced the May. This in Sumerian text, it's described as an object. This is basically a Sumerian USB device. I'll be back in a little bit.
And I'm going to take a few minutes to myself too, so that I can. So those of you that don't know, I have a yellow lab Ridgeback, and she's cuddled up next to me in the hammock. So while you guys go get a cup of coffee, go use the bathroom, uh, just don't change the dial. We'll be right back. But you know, go relieve yourself real quick, because when you get back, it's going to get a lot more interesting.
I think I want to rate one night how the different groups of people, the ones that believe in a different alien species and things like that. Um, I think we should go through each one of them logically. Each group, like Meyer and the other ones, and go through and see which ones are in line with each other and which ones are
Uh
believable.
huh.
Um, I really think we should do that.
Well, Alex Collier stole. Alex Collier, you know who he is?
The name's in there, man. I got a lot jumbling around up in there.
Yeah, he believed that he was in contact with somebody from the Andromeda. Da da da. He actually, Michael Hoare tells the story about how he met him before. Well, both of them were like going to a seminar to hear more about the Billy Meyer, because they'd seen his picture book and they were curious. And Alex Collier took the contact notes and turned it into his own and tried to pass it off. So basically, he's using a lot of what Meyer says, but um, he uses it to talk about somebody from Andromeda instead.
Did you ever see um the thing about, now this was about the Pleiades, and this is way before I even heard about Meyer.
Message from the Pleiades?
That was on TV that interfered the broadcast and shit back in Britain back in like
No, tell me about it.
1960, 1950. I got a recording of it somewhere. Um, yeah, they
Well, I've heard of it, but remind me of it.
like there was 3 nights. This I think it was during like it was some well watched show. Everybody's watching. All of a sudden the TV goes staticky black, and you have this figure on there, and like in a silver suit or some shit, and they're talking about like trying to send a message to people about nukes and things and what we're doing to the planet, and that don't fear, and that they're coming at some point, and they did this for 3 nights in a row, and they never figured out if it was, they always speculated that somebody hacked the system somehow. But I mean, back then it would have been like some kind of radio wave hack, because they were, this is before the breakdown of everything. Like I said, I want to do the breakdown of like each group and everything. I'll get that stuff together, and we can kind of figure out what's going on with that, because I think it would be a real good idea to try to look and see, if some of this is believable, fake, or improv, or especially now with all this stuff going on with alien disclosure and UFOs and stuff. If some of this stuff is correct, then maybe we should figure out who these people are or things are. Anyway, that being said, it's just a wild idea and probably crazy as hell. But I was talking about the me, or the May. It's pronounced May, M-A-Y, May. But the Sumerian text describe an object called it's spelled M-E, but it's pronounced May. Okay, so we'll call it May. But these were objects. They were data storage devices that contained the fundamental knowledge of civilization. Not abstract concepts, but they were physical things. The text lists the maze containing mathematics, astronomy, metallurgy, law, agriculture, the art of writing, music, crafting of tools, everything required to build and maintain a civilization. And critically, the May could be stolen, transported, lost, recovered. In one of the most famous Sumerian myths, the goddess Anu gets the god Aniki drunk and steals the May from him, transporting this to the city of Urk. The entire myth is about the physical movement of an object containing the civilization's knowledge from one location to another. These are not just poetic representations of cultural transmission or ideas that pass between generations. This is, why would you write a story about physically stealing them? Why does the narrative only make sense if these are objects that you can put on a boat? The sealed objects of the May directly, when the watchers complete their initial survey, a second group arrives. They are called the gatekeepers. And this is from the other tablet, the one they found. The gatekeepers arrive. They carry the May of renewal, the patterns that remake what was broken. Do you want to break that one down?
I mean, yeah, the whole thing is this is where the From the Stars to Mars makes sense if you read that. There. Okay, so essentially, the From the Stars to Mars is there was a there was Nocadamian, and Nocadamian was the man who was a spiritual leader for his people, and he managed to evolve to a point where he no longer needed the physical body and move on to the next stage. And his people split. One went off, which are the Pleiadians. They went off and they did natural evolution, went through wars and stuff like that, and just kept building themselves up. Whereas the other one wanted to be able to speed themselves up. So what they did is they took out the aggressive gene. But out in space, there are aggressors just like there are peaceful. And so as they were getting attacked, they realized that they had to reinstitute the aggressive gene. So what they did is they created a genetically modified human being that that had a less than 100-year lifespan, and they built diseases into its DNA, heightened its aggressive gene, and they were very, very militaristic. Well, while they were going through this process of fixing their genetics, once they got to being done, they decided to, well, we've already created an abomination to creation to begin with, so we might as well just go ahead and exterminate it. Well, there was another group that said, well, by doing that, we're just making it worse. So a group of sympathizers picked up as many as they could, and they skirted them off to a planet called Mars. And the reason why they came into this solar system is because it was a dying system, and there was no way to be able to find us because we were on the lam. Okay, and so they sat there and they built up a civilization, and their caretakers, or the benevolent ones that they wanted to let us war amongst ourselves so that we would exterminate ourselves, so that they didn't have to do it. They wanted to kind of like, manipulate the situation to a point where they could keep their hands clean, but let us kill ourselves naturally. And so the destroyer planet that comes by came a little close to Mars, and it was going to rip off the atmosphere. So they split it off into two groups. One group goes off to the planet Malona, which is now our
All right,
system.
wait a minute. The destroyer planet. Who's talking about the destroyer planet? Is this Myers stuff still?
Yes.
Okay, now the destroyer planet is the thing that's supposed to come back in 2029.
It may.
Well, I mean, according to
I
the
don't.
alignment,
Meyer talks about it. I just don't
I
know
mean,
what date he
I
says.
mean, I don't know, but according to the alignment and according to this tablet, this is when this thing's supposed to come. I mean,
Okay.
you have. I mean, that's the thing. You have the watchers that come, and then you have the gatekeepers that come. When the gatekeepers arrive, they carry the me of renewal, the pattern that remakes what was broken. Now, when you think about that, patterns that remake what was broken. Now, I want you to think about that in the context of genetics. A pattern that remakes biological material. The Sumerians may have been describing something they witnessed and encoded in the only language that was available to them.
If I could finish on this one, it might kind of bring a little bit more light to that because we're going to get into that part.
Well, it's next.
Okay, so they escape Mars, and that's why you see that there was life on Mars, because at one point in time there was a civilization there, and so one comes here to Earth, and it becomes kind of like Stargate, where the benevolent ones place themselves as gods and stuff like that. Well, there was already a group here that the Pleiadian overlord had, wanted. They were doing so much genetic manipulation amongst themselves that they wanted to have a pure genetic encoding. So they created a race. There was already a naturally evolving human race here, which are the brown people, but they wanted to protect their own race by having something genetically here. That's kind of like where we get Sasquatch and all the other stuff, because it took like 400,000 years to do something like that. So that race was already up and going, and then you have this genetically modified race that comes in. This genetically modified race has completely crossbred with every single human being here. So they all have the genetic bastardization that had happened from the ones that were fleeing. And so we're going through that, plus the fact that that's part of the reason why, as a civilization, we are so militaristic, is because we have a heightened aggressive gene, and our lifespan has actually been artificially shortened, and also through diseases. And because we cross contaminated, the whole planet is therefore cross contaminated. Now, because of what they did with the genetic manipulations, it's Enoch, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Emmanuel, that we know as Jesus, Muhammad, and then the last one is Billy Meyer. And Billy Meyer is the one that is the successful one. And so back in the book of
Yeah,
Enoch,
I mean, I don't. I don't know. I mean, like when someone calls themselves a prophet, or anyone that puts
That's
themselves,
what.
I mean, puts themselves up on that kind of level. That bothers me there. Yeah, yeah. We've been talking about Billy Meyer. Unfortunately, Billy Meyer is um somehow wrapped up in this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's wild. Yeah. So someone said, "Oh my God, Billy Meyer." Uh, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I do.
You
Um,
know what? All I gotta say is, if you want to understand someone, you gotta read what they write.
I know, but I mean, when someone calls themselves a prophet, when someone calls themselves like starts calling themselves a godlike figure, when someone
Didn't say he was God.
well, you're saying he's like Jesus.
No,
You just said that
no.
he's sitting on
Jesus was a
line.
prophet. He was not the son of God.
Michael, the wait a minute, something happened.
You would know him as the archangel Michael, but Michael, yes. Michael was actually, and Meyer actually even goes into like, she wasn't artificially inseminated, but she was impregnated because Damien realized what was going on, and he made a plan at the next level to be able to make sure that the knowledge of creation stays in the physical level and never gets wiped out. So from time to time, there are wise spirits that have gone to the other side that come back, and these are what we know as prophets. These are wise men that know that are the kings of knowledge and wisdom of all things spiritual. They're not superhuman. They're not special. They're a human being just like you and me.
You're saying what he's saying. He's saying that he his you're saying his mama was impregnated by Michael.
No, I'm talking about Emmanuel, the guy you know is Jesus. Was Mary was impregnated. Michael is yeah, because it talks about that's you should read the Talmud Manuel.
But 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 but
It's a
but but
fascinating
how?
read.
But what I'm trying to say is, you're talking about all the alien stuff, but when you try to incorporate yourself as a cornerstone of religion, as a thing, you go from being one thing and starting to look like a cult. I mean,
This is why they fail. Religion built around him. The others were stoned to death, and anytime they would say something, the people would revolt on him. Billy Meyer's the only one that survived. That's what makes him special. Emmanuel didn't wasn't able to fully complete his mission because he was assassinated by his own people because he spoke against them and they didn't like it.
uh, like I said, I mean, I mean, like I didn't even know that about him. I didn't know that about that. I mean, and that that adds more suspicion and roadblocks to my whole view of the man.
Well, that's why James Deerdorf, his story is really important because he like you went to go prove it as a hoax and became a fucking. He would go around and give lectures about how the Talmud Emmanuel is actually how they came up with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's the Q book. He says it answered all the questions plus 300 that they didn't even know, and this is a Bible scholar.
Yeah, but see, that's the other thing. You're if you're open to believing and you go in and you look at it, you need to be it needs. Yeah, I
You
don't
need to
know.
be impartial. Take the fact as a fact.
Yeah, I mean,
If you
but
bring your bias
I
into
mean,
it, then
I mean, we're getting into stuff that is unprovable and not fact. I mean, it's
true.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when you start talking about these things right here, I mean, and we're going through here and we're talking about these other stuff, and we're actually, to some degree, considering that that we're disproving parts or stuff about the Bible. Now we got to go back and we got to either prove or disprove parts of some person who's calling themselves a prophet and that they're descendants of these individuals, which you know in
It's either
in
the
in in in, in, in all logical sense. I mean,
it's
I
it's
mean,
either the greatest hoax ever pulled. I mean, greatest hoax ever pulled, or it is the most fascinating story you will ever read. Even if you read it as fantasy, it's still fucking fascinating as hell. Do you think I believe all this? No, I follow when I read his stuff. I apply it. If it works, okay, it works. And the thing is, I watch certain things. It's like he's always right on this and this and this, and eventually I give into it. But like, it's not. I don't I talk about him because like all the stuff that we end up talking about, he's talked about in his writings at some point, and I've read them just because I'm very fascinated by his stories. Like you should read the story that he talks about with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and who the Lady of the Lake really was.
I mean, like I said, I don't have any issue with that. I don't have, like I said, I don't have any issue with that. But like I said, I will, you know, I offer commentary and I will debate it because it is something, and I do this with anyone.
Oh yeah.
I do this. I do someone that, I mean, you'll see eventually. But I'm just saying is I do this with anyone. I debate it because I have my own ideas about how certain things are, and they're ever changing. But I know from experience that you should never wholeheartedly believe in one individual. You should never wholeheartedly believe in anyone who props themselves up above other people, above knowledge of anyone else. There is no man, there is no person, there is no thing that is above another human being.
That is true.
We are all
And
on this.
that's part of what
We are all on this prison planet. Oh,
and that's what Meyer keeps trying to explain to us is we are all priceless. We're all equal in value. We may be different in talents, but we're equal in value. And he teaches the to like a lot of my like if you knew who I was in my 20s versus now, you could see night and day. Like I used to be a very gnarly, like very aggressive, very angry person, and over the years I've had to learn to look at my fellow man in a completely different way. To kind of like that's where my whole ethics of humanity comes from, is things like that. So, I mean, if you really want to understand or have a talk about Meyer, I'm not the guy for that. You would be better talking to Michael Horn, who is the authorized American representative for the Billy Meyer contact information. So, like, he's the one that can sit there and give you stuff that is like he this is all he
but
does is he
see,
talks this
well, see
stuff.
that's. I mean, I wouldn't mind talking to him. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with him. But for me to actually get a good read on it, I would have to talk with somebody who had, like you or like somebody who was, living amongst them and doing this and seeing this firsthand, and who is no longer in there.
um
Yeah, I would need to meet someone who was a full on hardcore believer for years and years and years. Yeah, and I would need, and then someone who has found a reason to leave. Because I would want to know their reason for leaving. What made them leave? Why did they decide to leave? Why did they
you
decide?
should listen to his ex-wife.
Yeah, Well, I've spoken with people who were part and believed wholeheartedly into various religions, and they would do anything for them, and they would do anything for their religious leaders. They would do anything for their beliefs and everything else. And then one day they saw something, they felt something, they knew something, and those are the people who see the truth. Those are the people who become tested and see either they need to change their path or they need to stay. And I mean, yeah, once you start digging into certain things, I mean, but like I said, I plan to do something on Billy Mayer. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have any issues with your commentary when it comes to Billy Mayer or anything like that. I mean, as far as I know, I mean his you know how he got his information, where he got his information, or whatever. It does provide context to certain things in this. So and the other stuff, which is fascinating, and I mean I'm fascinated by it.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking bizarre story. Like, it's this is when I learned anything's possible.
Well, okay, all right. Now we were talking about genetic possibilities, anyway. But let's talk about modern genetics. The question that won't go away. Oh shit. Okay. All right. In 2003, the Human Genome Project completed its full first mapping of human DNA. I want to add, I didn't add this in here, that now you have the ability to map your own DNA at home with a handful of items, which is really cool if you kind of get into that kind of stuff. What they found confirmed what biologists had suspected but was struggling to explain. The human DNA contains sequences that appear to have been inserted rather than evolved gradually. This breaks the evolution idea in concept. It has been debated over and over again, but it's there.
But it fits with the genetic manipulation that Meyer talks about.
In the tablet. But I mean, like I said, we're basing that on what this thing is indicating, that these individuals and these things modified human DNA or bred them or whatever for whatever reason. Well, when I say bred, I actually mean that they, popped us up and genetically altered us. Okay. There may have been some angry alien butt bumping going on. I don't know. I mean, but I'm sure.
I think we need to give the Book of Enoch more credence than what we do. We look at it as a fantasy book of somebody describing something really strange, but we just kind of still chalk it up to folklore because it's not in the Bible.
Well, I mean, there's, I understand where that's coming from you, but I want to. I think I should tell you this. I mean, and you probably don't know. I mean, some people do, I guess. But there are preachers. There are preachers within Protestant, Baptist. There's definitely preachers and stuff within the Catholic Church and even the Orthodox Church that have a copy in their libraries that consider it canonical text, but they're just not allowed to use it because the thing is it's referenced within the Bible in other parts. Two other things. I think I said two other spots.
In Genesis.
Well, not just Genesis. It's also referenced in Mark and something else. I said it. I have to go back and look again. But I mean, there's two other references other than Genesis that indicate that the Book of Enoch was used wholeheartedly within the concept of worship. So I mean, but I mean, if you go on the outside thing, and I don't want to get into that tonight, but if you go on the outside thing, the whole thing about I started seeing some stuff about the Bible where bits and pieces of it start to break down, and to me that got a little disturbing. there was another thing I was working on, and it I mean, honestly, if a lot of people were to look at it the way that I looked at it and see what I saw and what I compared and what I put together, that I believe it would be a huge argument, and it was one of the reasons why I kind of just like left it in the desk. Um, there's just no reason for it. But it does the whole and I have seen it break down, and it to me now I believe that um, the Bible is basically just an observational record. Um, and you
I
know,
think it. I think it's been manipulated because if you understand King James, he had a lot of stuff taken out because it either didn't fit his narrative. Anything that would give women equal rights to men was what was taken out because he had his own viewpoint, and that was like the seventh version translated, first one in English, and that's what we go after is the King James version because that's the first English version.
but yeah, and I mean it's and you're right. I mean, but the accurate it's not been accurately translated. Um, And I mean, I can one night I'll even show you the first part of Genesis is wrong. Um, Now I did find some interesting codes within the Bible about how like Adam and his children were named and what that actually means. Um, which is extremely interesting when you start putting it into the whole alien and Anunnaki concept. I mean, it's just right there. I mean, anyone can see it once you see it. I mean, once you put the letters together, it's right there. Um, yeah, and best about it is, translate dozen of the time. Where's the proof? I mean, like I said, that's basically where we're at. Like, where's the proof of all this? But anyway, like back to the genetic stuff. These segments in the makeup don't follow the normal mutation patterns seen in other species and creatures and critters and stuff like that. They don't show the gradual incremental changes you would expect from natural selection operating over millions of years. The same with things you see in apes and chimpanzees. Um, some sequences look more like they were placed there. Mainstream genetics has an explanation for this. They call this horizontal gene transfer, or ancient viral infection, or genetic drift, but none of these explanations have achieved agreement. There's no agreement that these actually work. These anomalies remain unexplained. Zachariah Sitchin, a researcher who popularized the Anunnaki theory in 1970s, was widely dismissed for claiming that Sumerians have described literal genetic engineering. His translations were criticized as inaccurate. He wasn't a trained linguist. He worked from fringe perspective. All of this is fire. But he made specific predictions. He said he would discover the 10th planet in the outer solar system in 2005. Eris was discovered beyond Pluto. He said ancient texts describe deliberate genetic mutations of human DNA. In 2003, the Genetic Project found exactly these anomalies that he described, that he predicted. He died in 2010. He never saw MS 3848 translated, but the tablet describes exactly what he said it would.
Hmm.
Now, there was a question about this. Well, not a question, a statement about Planet Nine, and you talked about the destroyer. The other name for it is Nibiru, Nibiru, the dark one. Yeah, the dark one. Um, I've also heard people say Nimbru, or the
Everybody's tries to be all fancy about it, but whatever. It's we know what planet it is.
um, and then now I have another book in there that defines the planets of, like, each planet is associated with a certain Sumerian god. Um, and I think his is Marduk. Anyway, uh, but anyway, what the tablet says about the approach. The tablet that just don't describe the alignment. It describes its physical cause. And this is kind of disturbing. I mean, this is where we're getting the 2029 stuff. You know, something that happens. And I mean, now, there's one thing I want to bring up before I get into this. This year, and as a prediction, I guarantee we'll start seeing this. But this year, we have seen more comets in our solar system. That seems like they're attracted here now.
Um, well, didn't we just go through the equinox? So we're going through an asteroid field, probably.
Well, they tried to say that, but they did the math, and they looked at everything, and they said that what's been coming in. I mean, we've had stuff from interstellar space come in. I mean, that's, like Three Eye Atlas and the Oumuamua and that other one. Those things were coming from way the hell out there. But yet they were attracted to our itty bitty little solar system here. And there's a reason for that. There's something has changed. Something bigger is closer to us, and something is pulling these things in here. And I believe it's this, or something. Well, I mean, my first theory was actually it was a black hole, but now I'm getting closer to this because of this tablet. I mean, I will be the first one to admit, and a lot of people know this, and if Lord forbid they go back and they hear this part of the podcast and the last podcast and me talking about this tablet, because about 6 years I was like hotly against Planet Nine. I mean, I was going into rants and details and stuff, and bitching about it and saying, no, it's not possible. It's not, it can't happen. But, you kind of come around sometimes. But anyway, like I said, the Planet Nine, a planet following a high elliptical orbit that brings it into the inner solar system every 3,600 years. Okay. On each approach, two things happen. The Anunnaki, or whatever you want to call them, who travel on or with Planet X, return to Earth. And the gravitational effects of the planet passage cause disruptions through our solar system. Also, disruptions to our planet. We start in the tablet describes the disruptions in a procedural language. It says there are increased seismic and volcanic activity from gravitational interferences within the Earth's tectonic plates. It also says that there is oceanic disturbances and coastal flooding from tidal forces. There's electromagnetic interferences. The tablet says that lodestones lose their way, a reference to compass disruptions caused by magnet field irregularities. This has been proven. We're literally, there's spots that are more magnetic than others, and like our compasses are changing. There is there's the sky burns with colors never seen. The night glows as if it's lit by an unseen sun.
Well, Supposedly our poles are shifting, and it's supposed to be in Brazil and Saudi Arabia is where the poles are going to shift to. That's part of why the polar ice caps are melting. They're just melting faster than they're supposed to.
I mean, if you think back right now, you will realize that um, we have seen the aurora borealis in the lower states. This is the first time I've ever seen the aurora borealis in my life. I mean, and I saw it in Virginia. Um, my buddy, when it was happening, he was out driving, middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "Why is the sky red?" And I mean, and then I looked, I saw it. There was pictures online that were rolling in my hometown, and other ones, and this was going on over and over again. And then they started talking about the magnetic stuff, and then we started seeing all of these comets or meteorites in the sky, and it's still going on. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of documented sightings. This is the first year this has ever happened, of these meteors that are falling and stopping midair and turning and going up and then falling back down again. Um,
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I've been seeing a lot of meteors as of late this year.
yeah,
I've never seen this many in my life.
this is we're coming up on this thing, I think, or something. I mean, the closer we get to it, the weirder stuff we'll get. If this tablet is correct, or if it's something else, I don't
I
know.
thought the destroyer planet just passed by us.
No. I mean, that's when the old.
There was one that they were saying was large enough that if it got pulled into our orbit, it would fuck us up, and it missed us by a couple 100,000 miles.
I don't know. I mean, unless we're talking about some asteroid or something. I mean,
But yeah, the destroyer planet's supposed to be able to like rip an atmosphere off if it gets close enough.
you see, there's another thing too that bothers me. About 6 years ago, I mean, it's unusual for here. I mean, yeah, the Borealis thing's unusual for here. That's what I'm saying. Where I'm at. I mean, I've never seen it. I mean, I've never seen it below this line. But there is another thing that I found interesting in the congressional record about 8 years ago. They submitted a paper. They wanted to figure out how much damage a class 3 gas giant would cause. Why would you ask that question?
How much a what costs?
No, how much damage will a class 3 gas giant cause? Can we survive it? And this was something that was bought and paid for by Congress. It was put in the congressional record. These were something everyone voted on, agreed to. They funded the study. They kept the data private, and I'm curious. We kind of wonder, is this why they wanted to build something under, all the bunkers and stuff underground? See, a lot of people think that Planet Nine, if when people talk about Planet Nine, they're thinking, okay, it's an actual planet or something. But what if, this isn't a planet per se, not the way we're thinking of planet? What if it's something like a gas giant? What if this is the thing they saw with that telescope that they had to shut down, the Sun Observatory? See, that was something else they did that was really weird. Because about 2 years ago, there was the Sun Observatory, and they shut down the whole town. They claimed that somebody was using the computers for pedo stuff, but it turned out that was not the case. They shut down the post office. They locked down everybody so no one could talk. This would have been the only telescope that could have saw at that range. But see, if this thing is within the alignment they say, then that means it comes above the sun, and you really can't see stuff up there behind the sun. So I don't know. You know, there's a good bit of space we can't see. You would think we could, but we can't. You know, that's been proven. But there has been a couple of astronomers that claim they have seen these different little things that they believe could be this gas giant or something. Here recently there was this large shadow that was moving across their telescopes, and they couldn't explain it. NASA couldn't explain it, and it kind of got lost in the static. I don't know. Now we go on to no, we don't need to do that one. Okay, let's go to the tablet again. It includes what you might call backup evidence, secondary signs that should appear in the season before the return. Even if the alignment isn't visible to everyone, this should be. It says, in the season before the return, the earth groans with increased fury. Mountains that slept since the time of the great cold awaken with fire. The sea rises and swallows the coast where men built towers of pride. Sickness moves through the nations unseen and without cure, carried by the very air. How's that?
Sounds like Apophis.
Well, I mean, they're talking about fucking viruses and shit here, man. And they're talking about the seas rising.
Well, yeah, because as the polar ice caps melt, all those diseases that were frozen up in there are going to be released again.
I mean,
we're going to get flooding. Do you not see how much the shorelines are being eroded every year?
Oh
They're
yeah.
not really trying to talk about it. They're downplaying it.
Well, no, they're going full in now. I mean, as of the other day, at least I saw the shit. I got a report on New Orleans, and then another paper, and they're blasting it everywhere. They said New Orleans is at the point of no return. They said that it will be underwater within a few years, and there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing at all. They literally gave up. They're telling people to move out of New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, the by 2100, according to Meyer, the sea level is supposed to rise 5 feet 6 inches.
I mean, I like New Orleans. That kind of hurts a little.
That's why I have property in Arizona at 6,500 feet. I'm protected from a lot of the radiation bullshit, and I'm also protected from from all the weather bullshit too. I mean, that just means the high desert's gonna get green.
You're not protected from the golden ones. the when they come back and they do their thing. I don't know if they're going to. I'm just saying, none of us is protected from this shit. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, I'm just saying it. You know, it doesn't matter where we are. How much you own that place anyway?
Like, I'm about half paid off, so I got another 2 years.
That's good.
So I'm paying about 2,000. Okay, can I plug my sponsor?
You're more than welcome to go plug. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and plug. Oh
Okay,
shit, we've been at too long.
so I bought my property from you can find their website. It's called openairproperties.net. Her name is Stephanie. I bought my land from her. She has land in Arizona, Colorado, and Arkansas. It's blank land. You can even bundle together acres if you want to, but she does it about $200 per month per acre, all owner finance. You pay a document fee and like a deposit. But if you mention my name, Friar Tuck, you'll get $50 off of your deposit. And this allows you, like, if you're looking to go off grid and you want to be the fuck away from everybody, because you're paying less than $10,000 for an acre, and for most places. So it's all owner finance. So just yeah, openairproperties.net.
Um, there's. Did you know that Jimi Hendrix predicted the demise by Apophis? Dustin
The what?
and Dustin in the group, Dustin Brand. He says fun fact. He says Jimi Hendrix predicted Earth's demise by Apophis.
Okay.
I've never heard that. I don't think.
Me neither. I don't think I've heard that either.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. But yeah. But there's tons and tons of volcanic activity. That, we go with the rising the seas, the new pandemics. You know, the current one. Well, I don't know if it's a pandemic, but I know. He said rock prophecy. I don't know if it's an actual pandemic, but let's talk about that in a minute. Do you think we're going to get another pandemic?
Oh, Meyer keeps talking about the Great Death.
What
Um,
what is the Great Death?
um, uh, okay. You know what? I don't know what exactly it is. Um, he just keeps talking like, yeah, now we're on the Great Death. So when the cough came, um, even his friends were extremely scared of it because it separates the human being from its consciousness. It's basically like it was a virus that attacked the very kernel of the human spirit, and that was kind of what was scary. But a lot of what came from it is, and I even listened to like this doctor that was analyzing all of the autopsies. He was talking about how it wasn't people that were suffocating; it was a blood clot, and people were just randomly dropping from blood clots. My first business partner did. My stepmom's brother did. And these were
Are you
people
talking
just
about the?
randomly.
You talking about CVID?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah, there's yeah, I've actually
I
known
I
a couple of
spoke
people that.
I spoke with a doctor. I mean, he has a YouTube channel now. He's like semi-retired. He just basically had cancer, and I guess he like can't cured himself or some shit. I don't know how it went down, but he did something. Um, and well, anyway, he had this whole thing about he on CVID, and he's where I learned about the clots and
Yeah,
the clots being in people, and I seen them. I seen pictures of them. I seen he had brought on people like mortuary and stuff like that had to deal with this stuff, and but he was implying that it had something to do with um, a component of the vaccine.
That's a possibility because if you remember that girl in Pennsylvania that was in public hearing because she took the jab and it basically maimed her for life.
Did you see the things where when they were doing the studies on the mice with the vaccine, um,
No.
the the mice were growing things like they had like there was a set of teeth in one of them. There was an ear. There was like
Oh
other,
fuck.
yeah. So I mean, there's like these mutational things.
You know, the younger kids, the Zoomers and the younger millennials, all believe that they got sterilized, and so like the part of their marriage is
I don't think they got sterilized. I do think they got changed though.
yeah. That's something else Myers talked about. I've always wondered what the fuck he was talking about. It's like, you know, humans are about to undergo a major genetic change. I don't know what it's talking about. It could have been the jab, but you had not enough people took it. I didn't take it. Did you?
No, I didn't get it. We
Okay.
didn't mess with it. I got sick a bunch, but I didn't take it.
Yeah, my old man's got long COVID. My stepmom too.
I mean, my old lady, she had um. Hey, honey, what was that the COVID gave you?
Oh, you talking about one? I got Bell's palsy.
Yeah, she got Bell's palsy. She couldn't.
I couldn't move the right side of my
She
face.
couldn't move the
And
right.
a year later, it happened on the left side.
She couldn't move the right side of her face, and only a year
To
later,
the date, it happened on
yeah,
the left side.
a year later to the date, she couldn't move the other side.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sounds like is she antibiotic resistant?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you know, they think that may have something to do with her, like heart attacks or whatever went on. I mean, she's fine. I mean, I just, I mean, and I don't. I mean, her heart might be okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not
But
anti-vax. I just wasn't going to take it. I
yeah,
mean,
no, I not how quick it came out. And then
yeah.
you
I
know
mean,
Trump kept getting booed for that and he kept trying to take credit for it. He
oh,
almost didn't get the nomination because of it.
yeah. I mean, I mean, Dustin said that. All right, so you guys anti-vax? I said, no, no, I'm not anti-vax. I mean, if you want to take it, take it. I don't care.
Oh,
I'm all for vaccines and things like that, but I'm just saying is, I didn't feel like the vaccine was right for me. Um,
you know, before the pandemic, even with my son, when we started questioning the doctor, because me and my wife, we didn't think he needed all the vaccines. We wanted to ask the questions because we had the right to choose. And yeah, the doctors even started getting militant towards us, even if you start asking questions.
yeah, they did me too. They called me. I asked them. I was like, okay, tell me what you know. Is there any what side effects and everything else? You know, you're gonna put this in your kids, so I mean, you should know this stuff. And the doctor was like, "You laid back Americans are all the same." And I mean, this was fucking 13 years ago. I mean, I mean, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect her to do that. I mean, I was just curious about what was going on. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but anyway, like I said, the reports from the southern hemisphere. Now, this is some of the more valid reports that this thing might actually be up there. And there's a region of sky that receives less systematic coverage for major observations, most of which is located in the northern hemisphere. There have been reports, unverified, debunked, and dismissed, but some are consistent. In 2020, astronomers in Chile, this is the same one that discovered the um, yeah, yeah, measles. Anyway, but this is the same one that discovered 3I Atlas, by the way. Flagged an anonymous inferred signature that didn't match any cataloged object, and they thought it may have been an instrument error. They actually thought 3I Atlas was an instrument error to begin with. In 2022, Amateur astronomers in Australia reported an image, a dark object moving against the background stars. They were told to tell everybody the findings was attributed to a camera smudge, but it only appeared on that film. Only appeared on that one set. Both of the southern hemispheres, both dismissed without independent verification, both consistent, and both of what you would expect if something larger was approaching you from an elliptical orbit. I'm not telling you these reports are real. I am telling you they fit a pattern the tablet describes. And I'm telling you that pattern keeps appearing. Next, we're going to talk about what happens when they arrive.
Okay.
Are you, when you said spam, are you seeing Dustin, are you seeing the thing from Harmful Post, whatchamajigger? Is that popping in? The best viewer thing? That's coming from Twitch. I have a Russian bot that seems to be, I have a Russian bot that seems to be interested in my streams. They will not leave me alone for nothing. I've tried to get rid of it. I don't know what it is. They pop in. Sometimes I comment like, me and you were doing here, and I even had a conversation with him one night when I was playing Fallout Shelter, I think it is, yeah. And it's just weird. I don't know if whoever is using that bot right there is using it to stalk me, and I'm not sure why, but they are. I do know it's from Russia though. Anyway, and yes, I've said some bad things about Russia, but who hasn't nowadays? But anyway, all right. Let's talk about what happens when these things arrive supposedly. What can we expect if this happens? There's two criteria. There are two outcomes. Criteria 1: technological advancement. Specifically, humans have achieved space travel, long-distance communication. Have they, in the tablet's language, risen to the stars and speak across the void? Have we done that?
Speak across the void?
Risen to the stars and speak across the void.
Yeah.
Okay. We have been to space. We have landed on the moon. We have sent probes beyond the edge of the solar system.
Not only that, what about SETI? That's a message beyond the void.
Well, yeah, I guess. But they were doing like more. They did do the transmission thing, and then they were doing everything else was about recording. I've been to the main SETI satellite. It's kind of cool. You were actually close to it. I don't think you realized it.
Where is it? I thought it was in like the Andes or something.
No, it's in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like there's like a strip. It's really wild too. When I went through there, we were driving, and it's middle of summer, and all of a sudden we was hit by this freak hailstorm, and I had to pull over. I didn't realize where I was going, and I pulled into this big satellite thing on the side of the road, and it turned out to be SETI. Well, after the storm, I checked it out. But anyway, yeah, I guess we pass, the test here if that's part of it. We have risen to the stars, I guess. Now, criteria 2:
is moral development.
Oh, we fucking suck.
Have humans transcended what the tablet calls warring among themselves and poisoning the garden?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, you gotta ask the question: have we stopped
I'm
killing?
trying to.
Have
That's all you
we?
gotta say.
Yeah, I agree. I think we fail. So the tablet is explicit based on this criteria. One of two things will happen. If humanity has passed both thresholds, they will offer what the text calls genetic upgrading. The same intervention they performed at the beginning, the creation of what the Sumerians called enhanced humans, performed again.
Mm-hmm.
But this time as an elevation rather than a creation. The tablet describes unlocking what it calls latent capabilities within the human biology, extending lifespan, enhancing cognition, expanding perception, evolution by intervention rather than natural selection. The text frames this as a completion of a project, finishing what was started when the humans were first modified. How do you feel about that? Would you be okay with them modifying you?
I don't think there would be an actual modification. I think it would be more like if you've transcended to this, you will naturally have a genetic modification. We we have by having all this technology, we have not we don't have the intellectual and moral capabilities to handle the tools that we have now is far beyond our mental consciousness ability as far as like our to be responsible and knowledgeable about it. So like we've got an imbalance there, and yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, like I said, I'm just wondering if there's some kind of. You see, I mean, back in the day when I was growing up, and there was an issue there. We hypothesized, how stuff like this may have occurred, and we always come back to the idea that maybe there was a virus that was spread amongst humans and that genetically changed us. And I wonder if that is something that they would do. That they would release a virus of some kind on
Why?
humanity that would evolve us.
That's primitive.
I know, but I mean it's effective.
Yeah, but it's still primitive. I mean, when if you're advanced enough to where you can do a genetic modification, I mean, look at what we do with plants. If we could do that to humans to that level, or like what we do with dogs and everything else in fucking nature, then why would you? If you're trying to create something specific, why would you do a virus to it? Because the thing is if I genetically modify, let's say 100 people over the course of maybe 10,000 years, every single person will have that genetic modification.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's just something that pops up occasionally. Now, the other thing, if humanity fails, there's the cleansing.
Yeah, which is what we're about to go through right now.
Yeah, I mean that's I had hope on the ascension part. I think everybody does. And I think that maybe this is where we got the idea and concept within the Bible and things, about when people say, oh, well, the good people will go to heaven and the bad people will go to hell and all that other stuff. Um, I think maybe that this was like, I'm saying this could have been. I don't want to say this is how it is. Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. I'm just saying this is one solution to an idea that you know and like I said, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know that the stone is real. I know it's accurate to a degree. I don't know. I mean, not accurate. That's not the word I'm looking for. I know the stone is real. Okay, I know it exists. I know it's in the British Museum. I know they translated it, and the people who translate it think they translated it and the way it reads. I do not know if what everything they're saying is going to happen. I do not know if everything.
It sounds fairly accurate though. Like if he said if he said we correctly did it, and this is what he's coming up with. I mean, based upon everything I know and have read and understand, I would say that yeah, we were probably given a task. This is probably what the elders were being told to do, and instead of doing that, they used the knowledge that they learned to be able to, you know, better enrich themselves. And I think that in some way that is the record back when it was still pure of what the actual deal was and what they've been trying to do for 10,000 years.
I mean, I mean, I have heard a lot of different things. You know, there's been a lot of different things in cultures, but you know, they everything seems to have a flood myth, and everything seems to have an ascension or a cleansing. If you really think about it, everything, no matter what it is, if it's, you know, the Mayans had one, the cultures in Japan and China and India, they have one. You know, some of the more primitive things, like, you know, the Vikings and things, they have one. I mean, you have like Ragnarok and things like that. So yeah, these things are there. Everyone seems to have like, well, if you're good, this happens. If you're bad, this happens. You know,
You know,
they're trying to teach you that moral concept there, and that's what makes me wonder. What makes me wonder is
that
this
but
story.
the thing is that's what gives religions control, is because they get to determine through their dogma who gets to go to the good place and who doesn't get to go to the good place.
Mm.
So therefore, that is the first lie that we believed, is that, you know, you do this, you go to the good place, you do that, you go to the bad place, when in reality these were just people trying to impose their own ethical boundaries on us. Just like in Christianity, you're shamed because you're a human being, because you will never amount to anything. You are just a wretch. You know, you were born a sinner. You're told you fail from the beginning. And when you shame somebody psychologically, over time it becomes easier to control them. Especially if you shame them and then tell them that if you do this, you go to the good place. It says, "Thou shalt not kill," unless the preacher says it is justified. You see
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now the tablet goes on, and it says talking about the cleansing, and it said according to the tablet, one failure is enough. It says the outcome is reset. The flood narrative in the Sumerian text was the previous cleansing. That would be our Noah thing. All right. The
And God said, "Next time I'll burn you all alive." I
yeah
mean,
that
that
you
sounds like an abusive husband to me.
yeah. All right. Well, here's the thing. It says the tablet describes alternate methods for this cycle. You know, you just said burn you. Here it is. It literally says fire from above, plague, and what it calls the collapse of the sky. The text says the watchers will deliver the count of the worthy. The gatekeepers will separate the harvest. The harvest, we are described as a crop. They planted us, left us for several orbital cycles, you know, the 3,000 years, and they are returning to assess what grew. This is a disturbing metaphor. It's more disturbing when you consider that the Sumerians who wrote it described humanity as a literal engineered for a purpose. And supposedly, we were workers that were supposed to mine gold for these beings to maintain their civilization. That's what has always been thought. They were very specific about gold. Not
Yeah,
that
but I think I think that's a misunderstanding
it
of
could
what's
be,
going
but
on.
they still were very specific about gold. I know Sumerians were very, very specific about gold and how it could be used, um,
Well,
which I thought was weird.
no, actually, it's not. Uh, uh, something that I've heard about through the whole Meyer stuff is like he has he has a pyramid, and I think it's made of like copper or something like that. And because of the way it conducts energy, he can actually float in that damn thing. So metal has a way of conducting energy in the human being, and so gold might just be that might be why it was important.
I mean, I heard the pyramid stuff. They call it pyramid power. I remember all that stuff. There was do you remember the black guys that labeled him the king, the new pharaoh of Americas?
No,
He built that big ass pyramid down there in Georgia.
okay.
I mean, he had like tons and tons of worshipers. I mean, it was wild.
Wow.
But he said that he did it, and yep, I think that's the guy, Saggy. But he, no, was it the other guy? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, but now this is a little different. Now, when we talk about the tablet and everything else, what if I told you there was eyewitnesses for the tablet?
Eyewitnesses for what?
Okay, the final section of the sealed tablet was written in a different hand.
Huh?
It was added later. A scribe who apparently witnessed something and felt compelled to document it. And this is what they recorded. I saw them in the 14th year of King Ur. 3 watchers descended in the night, their craft silent as fallen stars. They wore the faces of men. They stood taller than any warrior. They spoke the old tongue, the language of the first city, and they asked for the king. They examined the grain stores, the zaggurat heights, the star charts we have preserved. They did not speak of when they would return. They only said the cycle continues. We are not forgotten. The 14th year of King Ur reign was approximately 2100 BCE. The tablet was sealed and preserved shortly after this written account. Why seal it? Why preserve a routine visitation record in protective resin for 4,000 years, unless they were told to do so? Unless they were told the tablet would be needed again by someone living during the next alignment. And now
They're trying to tell us something.
yeah, and now the seal has been broken.
I find it absolutely amazing. Something that I keep wondering, and I think you're probably the only person that would ever find information on this. Apparently, the origins of humanity to figure out the evolutionary jumps that we've had, that answer will be found in South America.
Yeah. I'm with you, Tuck. I was reading a comment in the section. Dustin says, "Okay, let's think about this intelligently. They could have scanned for grains, etc. No, that what they were doing, they were looking at grain stores. Um, you gotta look at how they were interpreting that. These things come down, and they were wanting to see how at that time the people 2000 whatever, if they had various grains, if they had various foods, if they had learned to utilize them. I mean, at that time in history, there was um, they were still learning how to modify and use grain.
Oh, hold on. You know what though?
Yeah.
I wonder because
Meyer says something about this, and it still baffled me, and I keep waiting for real evidence to prove this or to at least give hints of this. But he says that on the other side of the sun, we can't see this planet, but it's in our solar system, and it's a little bit bigger than our planet, and it has the same population problems, and they're going through the process of fixing their population problems. But what they do is they send expeditionary forces here to our planet to be able to gather like plants and seeds and stuff like that so that they can keep their population fed and stuff like that. And so every once in a while somebody will come across them. They're humanoid just like us. They look just like us in a lot of ways. But they are on the other side of our solar system. I wonder if any of this has anything to play into it. Because these guys are already interstellar.
I mean, it's possible. Now we're gonna touch on something that is, at least I found a little disturbing, and um, it adds to what is going on currently in the media. Um, I had been talking about the scientists and the ones that pass away, and maybe they had some kind of foreknowledge with all this, and that some of them had the would have had the knowledge, to look for the planet and other things. Well, one of the scientists was one of the ones that died. Was one of the scientists that co-wrote the paper of the tablet.
Mm.
I didn't know if we would get to it. That's why I was going to save it. But when you go down, everybody that was participated with that tablet, you had the Michael guy, Dr. Michael, the lead translator from Oxford, the one that said we translated it correctly. That is the last thing he has ever said. She supposedly offed herself. Dr. Sarah, co-author. This is the one. She declined the last when she was originally asked. She declined to comment on record. When pressed, she said the translation stands as published. Interpretation is beyond our scope. That's the last thing she's ever said. Then there's Dr. Emil Nazar. He declined all comments. He is dead. The British Museum refuses all requests now from independent researchers to access the original tablet for verification, citing fragility. Yeah, but they have pictures of it.
Fragility.
Yeah, they're saying
The
that.
white fragility crap that we keep hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know, like I said, Dr. Princeton said the interpretation is beyond our scope, and that it is profoundly a strange thing for an archaeologist to say. Interpretation is the entire point of archaeology. And I agree. And the reason I agree is because, like I said, my first major was languages and lost language. I took it as a Mickey Mouse course because I really didn't know what the hell I was going to do, and I was bullshitting. My second major was sociology and archaeology. Once again, I did it as a Mickey Mouse course. But the guy that taught me, he was like an old archaeologist, and he was like really adamant that I go do this stuff. But then I went into medicine, and I probably should have done the other. But I mean, when you are a real archaeologist, when you have you live that life and you go out there, it's not just about like digging and dusting off stuff. I mean, it's about the chase and showing people what you found and talking about it. And
It's just so hard. It's just so hard for me. These people didn't do it.
There's probably they were probably stopped, or it probably scared the shit out of them.
I think it was. I mean, it's very possible they shit scared out of them. I mean, that's the other thing too. It wasn't that bad openly, but in like it's really bad to be an archaeologist in like Egypt and around that area. If you're in there, you will be pressed, and you can't make any statements without the Egypt antiquities approving it, or you will be put in Egyptian prison, and that is no fun. There's actually, huh?
Why are they trying to hide all their history?
I don't know. I've never understood it. I mean, there's so much cool stuff over there. There's like, they found the library. I mean, sure, it's underwater, but they found the library. And I mean, with a little help, I mean, I'm sure there are archaeologists, there are countries that would come into Egypt if they had approval and help Egypt shore up and fix these places so they can be used, and studied and stuff like that. But they don't want anybody to know about it. They don't want anybody to talk about it.
China did the same thing with its pyramids.
Oh God, yes. The whole thing about the Mercury Pyramid, you can't get. There was a recent attempt to get in there. I think it was this last year, and I mean, full blown military thing. That would make a good story. The stuff that Egypt don't want to talk about, and and China too. I mean, there's some freaky stuff over in China, man. There is. I mean, originally my original thought and my general thought is that each civilization, was ruled by one of these watchers. And that's where we get the different, the different looks and the different behaviors and the different knowledge and the different things like that. Like you go to India. I mean, they're different. I mean, technology wise, behavior wise. I mean, we can joke about them all we want to. We can laugh about them all we want to. But once you go over there and once you study their stuff and see the things that they had created thousands of years ago, it's just mind blowing. And the same way with China. The same way with old England. The same way with all of these places. I mean, including Africa. There's so much we don't understand. There's so much that's been lost. Old Mexico. I mean, the Mayan pyramids and things. I don't know. I'm surprised that you didn't go down there and go visit that stuff.
I've always wanted to. I've never been able to get out of the country except for one time to go to Mexico.
What was there an issue with something?
No, I've always been poor. I am a homeless tourist in a lot of ways. Like I figured that I would never get a vacation, so I decided a long time ago that whenever, I would go to a city, and when I got bored of the city, I'd just move on to the next one. I'd take my last check, buy a bus ticket, scope out the city a little bit, get me a job, and then do the same thing over again. I did that for quite a few years too. That's what landed me in San Francisco.
If a group of people on YouTube were to get together to send you to a place for you to go explore, where would you want to go? I'm not within reason now. I'm talking within the United States or
outside, just with something that you wouldn't have to get on a boat for or a plane.
I would love to go and backpack Scotland and continental Europe
That would
and
be a
see a lot
plane.
of the old castles and the history and stuff.
That would be a plane. I'm talking about like, you know, South America or Canada or Alaska or
I,
continental sort of the Americas.
the Americas,
Yeah.
someplace I'd like to go explore. Um, fuck. I've been so many places. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've been coast to coast, border to border. Um, I mean, there's cool stuff. I like I just I don't know. I like going to see cool tourist attractions out in the middle of nowhere and finding me a hole in the wall that has the dankest food you'll ever find. That's what I look for. And you can't like you can't sit there and go, "Oh yeah, it's here on the map," because you just stumble across them when you're traveling. That's the fun of traveling is like if you got $20 in your pocket and you walk into a place and you're like, "Hey, let me have some nachos," and it turns out to be the dankest nachos. Like, okay, for example, I like going through Big Pool. The gas station they have there has a deli, and when I was through last time, I got to eat at that deli. It was fucking dank food. I would have never known that. There's probably maybe 300 people in that town, maybe 1,000 tops.
No,
Nobody knows about it.
being on the trails and stuff to stay away from the yellow deli, right?
Yeah,
Even if the women are tempting.
yeah. Well,
They have started wearing swimsuits.
good for them.
Yeah.
I got to be interested first.
Mm.
Uh, I'm not into younger girls like that.
No, these ain't the younger ones.
Oh,
These are not the younger ones.
well, if her skin's sagging, she probably shouldn't. Hey, I got something for everybody.
Yeah, I know. I do too, but I'm trying to stay away from that bunch. I mean, they're for I tell you what, for a um backward Christian cult, they sure have a whole bunch of legal power.
Probably because they got the right people in their pocket.
I don't know. Something's up there.
If you got money, you can have anything you want. I got to watch that when one of the last urban airs I ever cleaned. Fucking, they were gonna fail the inspection, but they played a trick by inviting the police and the firefighters in for a grand opening while they were having the inspection. I saw them give the inspector, several $1,000s to, give them a temporary license to open up the building because it was for the police officers and all this other shit. Dude, you got money and you know how to play the game. Yeah, you can do it.
The, before I start with this next part, I got a question.
Okay.
Have you, Anne Frank, what was the name of her book?
It wasn't the Diary of Anne Frank?
I thought so too. What if I told you the name of the book, and I checked and double checked and went all the way back, it's called The Diary of a Young Girl.
Mm.
You get your hair grow up on the back of your neck a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. All right, let's talk about the convergence of prophecies. The doctor I was talking about, he wasn't working alone in pointing toward 2029. Independent researchers began cross-referencing the tablet's data with other prophetic traditions. And what they found was uncomfortable. The first one has been talked about in chat. The Mayan long count calendar, famously associated with 2012. And boy, oh boy, my mama was freaking out about that one when she was alive. I mean, she had the water bottles and she had the thing, and she was ready for whatever was coming down the line. I'd never seen a woman like that. But scholars have since argued that the original conversions from Mayan to Gregorian calendars was miscalculated by approximately 17 years. So when they correct, the correct date they calculate is 2029. The next one is one of my favorites, actually. It's the Hopi prophecy. The Hopi people of the American Southwest describe the return of the star people as a moment preceding the appearance of a blue star that increases earthquakes. A blue star, in this terms, could describe an ice giant. Neptune is blue. Then planet X, if it's an ice giant or ice-coated body, it would reflect blue light. Then there's the book of Revelations. It describes a celestial object called wormwood falling from heaven and poisoning Earth's waters. A large planetary body entering our inner solar system and disrupting Earth's hydrosphere would be consistent with this description. You know, we need to say this before we discuss these things. Are these coincidences? Is this pattern seeking by humans desperate for meaning? Possibly. But the convergence on the single year from traditions that have had no contact with each other is difficult to dismiss. Now, I need to add something right here. When I said there was no contact with each other, when I wrote this, I didn't know. I found this. They discovered an Egyptian thing, a pendant, in one of the Mayan temples. And I didn't get the report until like about a day ago. I had to confirm it, but it was documented to the society. They don't know how to explain it, but it was a scarab, and they found the pendant in the under one of the temples there, one of the Mayan temples.
Well, there's theory that in Pangea they were all one and then they split. That's why there's pyramids all over the world.
Well, I mean, there's that, and there's also the theory that there was an individual. See, in the Mayans tell a story, basically when they were hunter-gatherers, and they said that this man with white hair that was white comes to them and tells them, gives him he gives the people the answers of civilization for themselves. You know, he basically gives them the me, or the may, and he shows them what to do. He teaches them. He is now revered as a god or a prophet to them, and he's forever put in history. And he says, "I will come back one day." But
You know, it's fascinating. The Mayans were apparently wiped out by the red people. Have you ever seen some of these unseen tribes that are like really like so black they're almost purple?
yeah, I have.
So I've always wondered who were the red people, or is that the what we now know as the Native Americans? Because apparently they came up from the underground and did this.
Dustin wants to know where you heard the thing about Pangea for pyramids. He says, well, I'm going to read what he says. He says it's BS. He says, they aren't that old. Who told you that? Now, I'm going to defend Tuck here for a minute. I have read some old stuff about where there were supposedly older pyramids and older civilizations within the continent of Pangea, because at some point civilization had to have been together, and then you go back to you go back to, like, in the Bible they talk about the Tower of Babel, and I'm not saying that was a full thing, but let's say that everybody knew the same language and they were able to speak, but the continent cracked, everything else, they were separated, they started learning their own language, they weren't able to communicate. We don't know when some of these things happen. I'm just saying something like that could have happened.
Yeah, and that's basically the same information I came across.
I mean, I'm saying is that, yeah, and I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, 10.5, thousand years ago, but within this story, we're talking 4,000 years at the first cycle. So that means there had been another cycle before that. So that's 8,000 years. Well, 3,000, so forth. So I mean, so there had been at least 6,000 years, 7,000 years, and then we don't know what happened before that. So I'm not sure. I mean, it's hard to think, but some of these ideas and some of these principles had to come from somewhere. I think you were talking about, where did it all come from? I agree. Where did civilization all come from? How did it just spring up? And the only answer for that is that something showed us how. As something had to come down and give them the me.
The knowledge, yeah. Maybe that's really what the Ark of the Covenant is knowledge, the knowledge and wisdom of all things spiritual.
Dustin, have you seen the alternate timelines where they were talking about where the compression of time and everything? I'll do a video on it, I promise. Because that's an interesting concept. What? I'm sorry.
Keep going.
Like I said, this is well, I mean, we're about done. I mean, we're about done with my notes anyway. So let's do a rational case and its limits. You can argue that everything I've been talking about is crazy. I mean, I'm basing all this on a tablet in the British Museum from a translation of a group of scientists, two of which are dead, and the rest won't talk. And
everyone will defend themselves.
Yeah. So, you can. If I'm sitting here supporting this, and everybody, well, no, I'm not saying everybody, but the majority of the scientific community says if you say Planet Nine or anything along that way, they call you crazy.
Yeah, just like the word conspiracy theory.
Yeah, just like the word conspiracy theory. So, I think this would be this is my rational explanation. It's clean. The astronomical, I mean the alignment, actually of the planets is real. But the prophetic readings is a projection. We see what we see, what we want to see. The Sumerians were brilliant astronomers who recorded celestial events, just like the Mayans, and were overlaying our own end times anxieties onto ancient technical documents. Okay? The second signs, the volcanic activity, the rising seas, the pandemics, are all vague enough
to fit into historical periods and contexts. Every generation has disasters. Every generation has people who read from ancient texts and conclude those disasters were foretold. Okay? I mean, you think about Nostradamus and you think about anybody else. You know, some of the greatest prophets were con men. Just saying. The first person that, you know, looked at the other tablets and kind of guessed this, he was not a trained linguist. His translations have been criticized by actual scholars of Samaria. But fringe traditions build up his work, and there's a little bit of wishful interpretation and circular reasoning. That being said, is the other scientists that did come and translate it, they agreed. Yes, I know.
I think there's a little bit of truth in it all.
These are legitimate points. They deserve to be taken serious. However, the tablet is authentic. Dating of the organic residue in the clay is confirmed from the fire of the second whatever. It's where it's from, and the resin is the same way. So that's all I got. The cycle continues. We will not forgotten. I had planned to go over the UFO files. I mean, I still can go over the first 3 that I had planned to go over. If you want to go over those.
No, it's getting to my bedtime. It's
I can keep going and take care of that. That's no big deal. I was just doing it for a subscriber. I didn't know if you,
okay.
You know, I mean, that ain't a big deal. But anyway, go ahead and tap out. I'll talk to you tomorrow. By the time we catch up, I'll already have 3 hours on you. All right.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Bye, man. Be good. All right, Dustin, you still there? I do want to apologize. I've been trying to get through these things and trying to get them.
Damn bug. I'll get it. You did.
Yeah, I mean, I got some weird views too. I mean, that's kind of the way that I gotta do things sometimes. I want to, like back in the day. I mean, like when I write and stuff, I bounce this stuff off different people and I see how they think, and I kind of get an idea. A lot of the people that I meet and a lot of people that I talk to, they are representations of characters that I build for my books. You follow? But yeah, he does, but he does have some. And I mean, you know, I'm willing to hear out anybody, you know. But I mean, I'd be willing to hear out the devil. But he's, yes, yep, he is. He admittedly he is. He's not the first one I met. But overall, but overall, Tuck's a good guy. He really is. You know. You know, and if Billy's work helped him, you know, then that's a good thing. I don't know. But I mean, you know, in order to grow and expand and learn, you need to hear this other stuff. Do you not agree?
Same here.
You know, my belief is if you help one, you help many.
That was good.
But as for the Apollo, the UFO stuff, like I said, there's like 160 some files. And tonight I had planned to go over the Apollo 11, 12, and 17. Yep. So in the files, there is the Apollo 11, 1969. In a debriefing after the flight, astronaut Buzz Aldrin reported seeing little flashes inside the cabin. I kind of wondered if that wasn't static or something. It spaced a couple of minutes apart. While trying to fall asleep in another incident, Aldrin described seeing what appeared to be a bright light source, which he thought was a laser.
We're not going to.
I'm not sure if that one is on there. I went to go look for it.
We're not digital yet.
Yeah, the audio's new. I mean, I was going over what it was, but I wasn't able to find it on the page. All right, those are new. Those are definitely. Oh hell! I'm going through the files here. They had added a whole bunch of FBI photos. That was not on there this morning.
At least we're not digital yet.
Okay, I got.
Crazy.
Do you know if somebody has them all zipped together yet?
Well, thankfully.
All right, still looking for Apollo 11.
So, did you get it yet?
Okay, that's the technical briefing. This is not the voice, I don't think. Nope.
Did you get it yet? Huh?
There.
What is it, Dad?
No, there's no audio for 11. I mean, it's. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it here.
There was no audio yet.
I just see the technical crew debriefing. Here, I'll show you. Let's see. Is that it? No, that's not it. That's not it either. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is all they got for the Apollo 11 technical briefing. And there's no...
Just joking.
Yeah. Yeah, the possible laser, the explanation that come back from the command module. Yeah, I don't think they released the audio on this one. Yeah, he already told us this. This is sad. I mean, I'm like you. I thought this was new. I mean, you know, like the list that I was sent, I was told that there was this audio, we could hear it. All right, hold on. All right, the other thing was...
There was a possible chance to
15?
hope so.
Yeah, I'm on 15 right here.
Yep, you're on 15.
See, that's what I used right here. And then you got the 17 debriefing. Like you can go right here. See, that's the
Apollo 7 debriefing for science. That's the technical debriefing. Now, I remember, when I was doing this, I remember seeing, wait a minute, here we go. Audio, image, PDF. I mean, I played a sound today. I played the NASA thing for
Okay, there was no
my old lady. Okay, that's a Gemini 7. That one, that's the Gemini 7. Yeah, see, I'll show you. They got it like this.
I don't even know volume yet.
Gemini Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center in Building 6. Since then, we have dubbed a tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Gemini 7 here, Houston, out of your 8.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
So we have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
And we also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
And we have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by from west out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
Traffic appears like, or further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
7, this is, Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun, against the black background, and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's about at my 2 o'clock position.
Does that mean it's ahead of you?
It's ahead of us at 2 o'clock, slowly tumbling.
Roger.
OS 91.
I'll restart it, but yeah, I typed in chat there. I didn't want to interrupt it for you or me or my son. He's in here listening to it too. But I wonder if the bogey was the Black Knight satellite. You know, now that I think about it. Not in 1960.
Oops.
What else could have been up there? I mean, we didn't really populate. I mean, I wonder what the bogey was.
Or not.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about when I say Black Knight satellite, right? The one that's supposed to be the alien aircraft that's been around the planet since like
We don't care about it.
back in the day. I mean all the way back. It's like one of the first videos I ever done on this channel. Hold on.
Go Fox 91. Go Fox 1. 91 second.
Chevy Control here again. The reference in that conversation to the third unidentified object, of course, or the third object, was the bogey. There were several references to the bogey. This is the unidentified object, in addition to particles which appear to be headed in a polar orbit, you heard Frank Borman say, plus Jim Lovell discussing the booster. It was Borman who reported sighting the bogey. This is Gemini Control Houston at 4 hours, 24 minutes into the flight.
Can't hear you. Well, okay.
Yeah, they were definitely freaked out. I mean, I would be too. I mean, you got to think about how it would feel to be. Wait a minute. Where's my background? I think I lost it all. I mean, to be in that box and everything else. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's right. I got the string capture on. Yeah. I messed up. I'm sorry. There we
No,
go.
it's okay. You're fine.
All right. So here we go. Let's see. What was the other one? Let me find the other vid file. Department of War. Now I know there was more than this on here. Where's the videos? I found the videos. Where are the videos?
Oh, they were right there for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Have a failure.
Here we go. Okay.
Never mind, just joking.
That was a Gemini 7. Okay, here's a Gemini 7. It's just...
Why can't you do with me?
Is this the same one we just listened to?
Chevy Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll
That was
recall
so
at the
right.
start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we...
Okay, that was the same one. All right. You know, maybe I should take and try to create a track and figure out where they were exactly, and maybe we can kind of figure out what that might have been. I can't do that tonight, but I'll have to use software to figure it out. Here's the Middle East one. We'll go ahead and watch these videos since we're here. This is the one that, let's see, where is it? There it was.
Weird.
There it was. Wait a minute. Back up here.
It was very weird. Right?
And where was that? Here it is. Here it is.
You see something?
Yeah, there it goes.
Oh.
That kind of looks like a missile to me. I don't know.
Did you see that right there? There's no way that I'm feeling embarrassed.
They probably are, this information. But here's the thing. We must go through them all. And, you know, like I said, that one right there looked like it was a missile to me. And it, you know, I don't know. But, you know, some of them, this information, you know, they probably just gave us all this stuff to keep us busy and keep us preoccupied. Because, you know, they know that's just how they'd have to do it.
Kind of secret instance code. Right?
Yeah. Right there it is.
Hey, Dad.
That to me looks like a balloon.
Really?
Yeah. Right there.
Why does this thing
See it bopping?
Boom! Sorry for the loudness.
Yeah, that looks like a balloon.
I'm sorry for the loudness, right?
That's fine, sir. Come on.
Huh?
That's fine.
Guess what? I found the secret instance code.
There's another one. Same one.
Another one right there. But pop again.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what we at now. Alright.
5. Oh, they're standing up.
There is one of these videos on here. I don't know which one it is, but it is an insane video.
There was some unknown reasons. Oh, why is it changing?
Why they got all this blacked out for?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Where's this? You know, this is a top secret facility.
Oh, this is a facility.
I just saw it go by. That was looking here, but it's over here. They got it. I'm not sure what they're doing on this for here. Okay. That wasn't what I saw. I saw something flash over here. But apparently you're tracking something right here. Well, what about this thing over here? I don't know. It said this was, yeah, United States Central Command.
The U.S. Central Command.
Mm-mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that Central? Oh, this one's different.
It kind of looks like the neighborhood.
That one.
It looks like an old neighborhood. That looks destroyed. It looks like an old neighborhood that looks destroyed.
I mean, that's similar to the other videos they were pushing there for a while. I don't know. That one was in Syria, Iraq. Is that the same one? Oh, okay. This one's from Iraq. It's for video.
No, Iraq is bad.
I mean, you think the discredit thing might be something they're just trying to do to kind of like take the heat off the actual subject, or you think they might be trying to just do this to keep people busy to, you know, I don't know, You know, from being preoccupied when it comes to the war and stuff. I mean, I don't. There's definitely something strange going on.
Ow, my ankle is sprained. Oopsies.
Yeah, that looks interesting. Hey, that looks like a man or a star. You know, 1, 2, 3, or yeah, that looks like a dude. Hold up. That looks like a dude. That looks like a dude flying through the air. It looks like a dude flying through the air. I mean, we have the evidence. I agree with you. That's bloody Superman, man. We have the evidence. This is Superman. I'm with you 100% on this. And look, he zooms off, man. He zooms off like Superman. That was some crazy shit.
Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Let me see that. A little close.
I'll play it again. Come here.
I'm on the way.
Okay, wait a minute. Go. All right, Goosey. Is this little dude over here?
I don't know.
He's flying.
What's blind?
Right there. He looks like Superman.
Oh, I guess.
I mean, there's his arms, his legs.
Is it visible?
I don't know.
Ew.
Hey, the moving back and forth could have been the camera, but
Is Superman a superhero?
I don't know. He's definitely an alien.
Totally, I like Iron Man.
There he goes. He took off again.
Wait, can I see a replay?
I already played it.
Totally, I like Iron Man.
Yeah. All right.
And there's the boat again.
English in the center of the right side.
Oopsies. Right now I'm going back at the bathroom.
Okay. What am I looking at here? I don't see it. Is that it? Oh, there it goes. Well, that wasn't very big. I mean, what if all this is like some new species or of something that we just we don't understand yet? You know, maybe it's already here on Earth or something. You know, or coming from underground, or I don't know. I really do not know. That one's from another. I don't know, is that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one. Like I said, there's one on here that is supposed to be amazing. I don't know which one it is. All right, that's another ball. I mean, people get excited about these, but honestly, at this point, you remember back in the day when they were doing ghost hunting and stuff, and everyone was getting excited about orbs. I mean, and how dumb it felt after a while. This is what it's starting to feel like. Yep, there's an orb. There's another orb. Show me an alien. Please show me an alien. That's what I want to see. Oh, I believe you. I mean, it's. What do you think the star one is? You think it's a missile? That's a balloon. That is a balloon. If I have ever saw one in my life, there's the top of the balloon. There is the string or tether below it. That is a balloon. Yep. That is a balloon. You think they did some of these on purpose to kind of like mess with us? That one was. Alright. Wait a minute, I just. That one. Alright, we already saw that one. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I'm going to get ahead of myself. There's that one. There's the balloon. Okay. I think I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to do it this way. It's not going to let me do that. Oh, you. That's why I need to download these as a zip or something. I mean, if I can get all these downloaded, I can take this and run it through my software, and I can kind of pull it and amplify it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I have the stuff here to do with it, but I got to download all this. What was that? You see that? Look up here. Look up here in the corner.
Hold up. Did I miss it?
There, right there. Look at that right there.
Hold up. What is that?
I think we need to slow it down a little bit. Hold on a minute.
Did I miss it or what?
Yeah, wait, we're going to really slow it down.
Yeah, really slow. Right there.
All right. I mean, that could be one of those sprites or whatever they call it. You know, the
It looks like
yeah.
It looks like big lasers.
That one was Sierra. Let me see Syria. Okay. Now we are. I didn't see it. What was I supposed to see? No, I thought that one may have been one of those sprites. You know, the things they've been seeing in the sky for a while. That kind of like it's like a lightning bolt that kind of jumps around and kind of has like a reddish tint to it. We seen them here. I mean, I don't see anything in this one. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing something. Unless you're talking about that right there. Oh, that is silly. Come on, man. That was a weather picture. I saw the top. It's like a, I don't know, disturbance. That was interesting. Okay, these must be like weird disturbances on the camera. But I mean, these could be, you can classify these as artifacts. Hmm. So these were balls of white light, according to this thing. These big, huge balls of white light. They showed up orange on here. I mean, I guess that's a little weird, maybe. Kind of, sort of. There it goes, right there. Mm. This one is oddly interesting. See the way it moves around and stuff. Now this one is so far, I hate to say it, is basically the best candidate I've seen so far. And they got a track on it, so this thing's pretty big. Hey, you feel like sticking around and running through the rest of these with me? So I can kind of get an idea about what I want to talk about tomorrow. Thank you, man. You don't know. I mean, I kind of like to have company when I do some of this stuff, and especially this. You know, somebody I can engage with or talk or whatever. Yeah. Where'd it go? I don't see it. Did you see it? All right, there it is, right there. Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, that one looks, that one like a balloon or something. I don't know. Was that the other grease one? No, we watched that one. Okay. All right, now we're back to the Middle East. Man, look at all the blackouts on this. They must have been up to something bad. Yeah, there's a boat. All right. Right there it is. Okay. Hmm. It sure be nice if they didn't black out everything. I mean, I'm getting the feeling that these things might be artifacts. I don't know. Balls of light, white balls of light. Energy trying to dissipate themselves. I mean, that would make sense. For all we know, they are ghosts or something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Definitely odd when you think about it. I don't know. It's not sold on it. Now we're to this one. Alright, another boat. I'm sorry, but that looked like a Hellfire missile to me. Right here. Yep, that looks exactly like a Hellfire missile. You got, there's the exhaust. There's the front and payload. Yep. You remember the video where they supposedly shot that orb with the Hellfire missile? That looks just like the Hellfire missile that was going to that orb that hit it. Yeah, why would they give us that video? I wonder. All right, I guess this is the star one they were talking about. I thought it was bigger. There we go. Thoughts?
See, here's what concerns me. I mean, I was going to save it, but okay, here you have whatever this is, and it is leaving a trail. But is that trail an artifact, like on the camera? You see this right here? Okay, this is either glare or a reflection of some kind. See this right here? Look at that. Yeah. That one almost was like a parachute, but I mean, this is like glare or reflection. So whatever this is, yeah, see, whatever this is glaring off the camera. I mean, you can see it real good back here. Wait, where was it? Okay, there you go. All right. Here we go. They bring it up. Where was it? Where did I see it? I see these right here, like you were talking about, like cursive or something. But then you got, where is it? Where's the glare? Come back. Come back. Come back. Where are you? Right there. See it up here? Where the glare started? Oh, it's up here. Right there. Look at it. Right here. See this right here? I mean, it almost reminds me of like a parachute. You know, like a paraglider would use. Why does that have that weird reflection there? See it? There, and it goes back like it just dropped a parachute. I mean, I'm wondering if this wasn't like a re-entry vehicle or something, like some kind of. See, look at it. See how that goes. This looks like like the top of a paraglider. So watch up here. Look at this. See the way it goes down? But whatever this is linked to that. I'm saying maybe it's yeah, see, it's back up here again. I don't know, man. This is a weird one. This is really a weird one. I mean, are we calling this exhaust? I mean, the only other thing I can figure out is this up here. This is a reflection off of this somehow. Well, no, this can't be exhaust right here. The exhaust has to be behind it, whatever's leaving that line right there. Yeah, this is a bizarre one, y'all. It really is. This is truly a bizarre one. All right. Well, that one was in the Middle East. Huh. 2013. Wait, did I miss one?
That wasn't the Middle East. Okay, this one. Next one was this one. No, there's not much of this video. It's just that thing right there sitting there. That might be Superman hanging back out again. I mean, could be the heat. Or maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you would actually replicate that, or you could replicate that. I mean, that's a weird reflection. I mean, that's a weird heat signature too, if you think about it. I mean, because it's coming out in that range. I just don't know. Mm-mm. Small thermal signature. Well, I'm glad you pointed that out to us. We've watched enough of these to know that orbs or something. At least you guys think orbs or something. You ever wonder if this is what the U.S. back in Germany, that these were like Foo Fighters or something? I mean, it would make sense. They said the Foo Fighters like flew everywhere and done all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, little bitty orbs. Hold on. I guess I'm going to have to call tonight. I'm being called to the other room. Hey, man, thanks for sticking around. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Thanks again. You guys stay